Hello, all you awesome people out there, guys. We got 5 minutes to go. Thank you so much for coming. The turnout already is unbelievable. Guys, this is going to be something for everybody to share, everybody to know about. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys can let the word out, hit the like button, tweet it out, tell friends, guys, because this affects all of us in some shape or form. All of us that are creating, guys. Yes, there is some big changes coming along in YouTube, and can't wait to discuss them with you. Thank you so much for coming. Once again, we'll see you guys in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, 29 seconds, 28 seconds, 27 seconds. I have to keep doing this till I shut off the mic. Can I keep doing it? Is it going to work? Let's see. 22 seconds, 21 seconds. Okay, I'm out of here. Bye. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Today's Wednesday, and we're live as always at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hello, everybody. And it's a very interesting and a serious topic to discuss today, once again.
That's right, guys. The announcement by YouTube, and we're going to be running with it. We'll not get into it for a few minutes, guys. We'll give everybody a chance to come in. We got 99 in the house right now, guys. You are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for coming. This is, once again, something, guys, going to affect a lot of us, and a lot of us that don't even think we're affected by it. So definitely want to hang around, be part of the conversation. Great to have you all in here. And if you can hit the like button, tweet it out, tell friends, all that good stuff, guys. The more, the merrier, the better the conversation. We do appreciate it. And once again, guys, as always, through the 2 billion plus channels and all that goes on through life, you chose to spend a little time here, and we really do appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for coming. To everybody new, returning, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Now, it is very important subjects. We really hope that you can share it out as much as possible. If you know who would want to know, well, everybody would want to know, but really share it out. It is important, and we want your input in this as well. We want to discuss it, talk about it, and see what we can figure out together.
We're going to talk about the facts, but also, too, we'll consider a little bit of what can happen with it as well. We will clearly mark with speculation, and we also advise you guys to go and check for yourselves as well after, so you stay informed to keep your channel in good standing. And I do, though, have a little bit of business tonight. A channel mentioned us a while ago in a live stream that they're very excited that they're about to hit 1K. So if anybody else is, can you let us know at the beginning, because it's a bit, once we get into the conversation, it's a bit harder. So I want to try and catch at the beginning if we can. If there's anybody else in the meantime, poor Xenia, I forgot to tell her about this one. I just remember.
Xenia is Pusa, so.
Oh, you're good though.
And we have Expedition Greg with Super Sticker Super Chat. So cover your ears. Super Sticker Super Chat. Super Sticker Super Chat. Super Sticker Super Chat. Thank you, Expedition Greg. That's right. We're going to start with a little bit of positive input first before we dive into the seriousness of YouTube.
That's right, guys. So, guys, this is your time to hit the like button, tweet it out, tell friends, get them in here. Happy Trails Hiking is in the house. How are you? Awesome to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. I give them an extra shout out because you know what? They're one of the channels that got us off the ground when there was only 4 or 5 people in the chat. Happy Trails Hiking was one of them, so definitely make sure to check her out. You want to change your life? You want to grow? Oh, no, my God.
Yes, that's right, guys. You all are superheroes with capes, and reviewing, playing, and more RPM says exactly that. Super Sticker Super Chat, Super Sticker Super Chat, Super Sticker Super Chat for reviewing, playing, and more RPM. Thank you so much. You are the superhero as well, and you're wearing that cape proud. Thank you. Thanks.
You know, it's gotten to the point that people are ridiculing me in other streams because they want to know if it's the excited super chat girl or the guy who plugs his ears. just wanted to bring that out to you, you know.
Well.
Oh, no worries about that, Kay. No worries. Thank you so much. Though you were so instrumental in getting us started on the road to 10K. Honestly, thank you so very much. Happy Trails Hiking, guys. Never worry about that, but thank you so much for saying that. You guys are awesome, guys. We got 112, 115 in here, and there is lots to cover, guys, and this is so important to so many channels, guys. You wouldn't even think you're involved in this. So please, guys, make sure to pay attention well, listen in. The guy who plugs his ears, isn't that nice, K? That's what there's what getting a reward for 10K means. How does it feel, Andrew, to have 10K? I'm known now as the guy who plugs his ears. So there you go. I'm working my way right up the pole, I tell you. Leanne, Michelle, how are you? Welcome. There's so many people, guys. I'm going to say hi to you all in just a minute. The Traveling Shittas, thank you so much for the congratulations on it. You guys are the ones who got us there. Numbers are not everything, but they most definitely are something, because every one of you is one of those numbers, and we truly appreciate it, guys. Thank you so very much. It is. I love the Happy Trails Hiking. There's something, ask about 10K. Idiot of the Day, how are you? Great to see you. It is awesome to see so many channels come in for stuff like this too. I have no regrets with the wheel, and I have no regrets with anything else you're doing here. And this has been what's great about getting growing in size, is seeing so many people that actually tune in, that really want to know about their channels, really want to learn about their channels and that, and actually trust coming to us to get the information that you cannot put a price on to. So
now, we did hear through the grapevine part of the information probably 2 weeks ago, but we decided not to spread the grapevine and wait for the facts. And today the facts were announced, so that's why we can finally talk with you about it.
That's right, guys, and thank you so much for coming. We're going to get into it for a few minutes, guys. We just want to give everybody a chance. We got 122 in here, and it's 6 minutes into it, guys. So we're not having to repeat as much and stuff like that. So this is your time to hang out. Come in here. I see Whimsy Creek Art just joined us. Thank you so very much. It's great to meet you. I hope you enjoy your time here. There's a lot of great people, a lot of great creators. It's awesome. It's actually humbling to have you all here under our roof. Thank you so very much for coming. I've changed my avatar, but I think YouTube is taking, and yes, awkwardly, it can take days. I did my merch shelf. That was another perk that came with the 10K. It is not up. They said typically 24 to 48 hours, so I'm banking on 96 hours if I'm lucky. Just the math is always, you got to add a little extra to it. So, Christian Raymond, Pastor, how are you? Thank you so much. Much love to you out in the country. How are you? Glitch and Gamer. Great to see you all, guys. I'm going to say hi's in just a second. In the meantime, guys, hit the like button, tweet it out, tell friends. And yes, guys, don't forget about selfies if you haven't done them already. It's a great chance to do them, a great way to have your channel seen, grow your Twitter page, grow your channel. There you go, guys. Selfie of you watching us. You can't do that, a selfie of you. Just use the hashtag Blue Orange Group so us and everybody can see you, and we'll take a look a little later on. And the Sneaky Fox, thank you so very much. My God, you don't have to do anything for us. You went crazy with that stuff. Just great to have you in here. Thank you so much for coming. Great to have all of you guys in here. I want to get this channel up, guys, right now because they're about to hit 1K. Ready to do it?
Yes.
Alrighty, I'm not ready. I am not ready. Oh my God, I'm not ready. I'll try this. There we go. That should work. Throw on this. As notice of something great is about to happen, we're going to throw on this song, courtesy of MU Free Music. And guys, we're going to help a channel right now quickly. Very quickly, I might add. Oh my God. Seriously. Seriously, what are you doing to me, YouTube? What are you doing to me? There we go. $9.95. That's more like it. That's what I was going for. That's what I wanted to show you. Misty Alago, great to have you in here. Thank you so much for coming. No problem living the RV local life. Awesome to have you up here. Living the RV local life is only 4 away from 1K, guys. So let's just have a quick celebration before we get into the meat and bones of tonight. 132 in the chat and climbing. You guys are up. There's Ralph's Trucking, guys. Hong Kong, the man on the road. 1001. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Blow the horn, folks. Grab up living the RV local life if you don't have them. If you do, celebrate, guys. Throw some emojis. Hey. Everybody loves a good celebration. That happens. That's why we got to pat it up, guys. Pay the tax man. Links in the chat. Still room for more. Grab them up. They still hit 1K and they're going to do it. So grab them up, guys. Grab that link in the chat. Put them over the top. Make it happen. YouTube's cleaning them out to make sure they're real. Now we're talking.
There you go.
There we go. Blow another horn just because for them. There you go. That's what we're talking about. Awesome job, guys. Congratulations to you living the RV local life. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to celebrate with you. This is your victory. 4K, 4 digits now. Run with it. Do exciting things on here. Draw the people in by the masses. We'll be celebrating 100K for you in no time. That's for sure. Awesome. Awesome. Congratulations. Very well done. Nice to see. Big congratulations to you. Big congratulations. There we go, guys. Congratulations, living the RV local life at 1,010. I have completely lost all ability to count. I swear to God, I'm going back to elementary school. Audrey's in grade 3. I'm just going to have to join her. There you go. Xenia's going to be packing 2 lunches come Monday. 1,011. Very nice. Very nice. Paul Peck is in the house. How are you? Awesome to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. And I think it's about time for a roll call, guys. A time to say hello. 7:10. Holy God. Guys, there's 138 here. It's 10 after 7. You guys are amazing. I'm going to say hi to all you guys. I'll just give another couple of minutes, guys, just to make sure, because I don't want to do things too repetitive. It is so awesome to have you all in here. Please do not forget to hit the like button, tweet it out, tell friends, all that good stuff, guys. You're absolutely amazing. 2 lunches, I request ham. I'll take ham too. Yeah, I'm with Kay on that one. Ham it is. In case I missed anyone on the live, on this awesome live stream, Naomi's Slot Channel, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Michelle Duquette is in the house. We have Hooli Boys Productions in the house, guys. Look at all these great channels. Thank you so much for coming. Flava Eats is in here. Ghostly Findings Paranormal. Beautiful Queen, how are you? And guys, don't forget about your selfie, please. Let's get them up there. Great to grow your channel. Great to grow your Twitter page. There's the link. A selfie of you watching us. You can't do that. A selfie of you is more than acceptable. You got merch and stuff like that. Take a second, throw it on. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good. There you can self-promote. That's right. Flat Earth Forums in the house. How are you? Awesome to see you.
Lucky from Kentucky. Thank you so much for congratulations. Do appreciate that. Thank you. Kevin Silva is here. Hello. How are you? Anthony Benson is checking us out, lurking through. And yes, hello to everybody just watching us as well. Andrew's going to do his routine roll call just in a moment, calling each and every one of your name. And that means it's your time to share it out. If you haven't yet, it is very important, especially today. Please do help every creator out there. Let's talk about it together.
Guys, in the meantime, we're waiting to say call you guys names. Why don't you tell everybody where you're from? Tell them what state, what province, what country. Tell them in the chat here. Introduce yourselves. Where are you guys from? It's always amazing to see where people hail from.
Where are we from?
I have no idea. We're in Montreal right now. Xenia's originally from Latvia. I grew up here in eastern Quebec, rural Quebec. Most of my adult life here. I'll let Xenia call them out.
Okay, we have UK and Scotland, Atlanta, Mississippi, Texas, Texas, USA, of course, UK, London. Hello, how are you? Louisiana, Charlotte, Essex. That is awesome. Charlotte, there are 2 Charlottes. Flava Eats and Queen City Picker. You both are from Charlotte. There you go.
See?
PSPR Paranormal. Hello, how are you? Colorado, California, Cincinnati, Ontario, Canada is here, of course, as well. Indiana, North Carolina, Colorado, California, Toronto, Canada, Illinois, Haiti, Toronto, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Italy, Paraguay, awesome, Alabama, wow, Florida, Netherlands, that is amazing, New York, that is unbelievable, from all over the world, Virginia, live in Virginia, but originally from Europe, that's like me, almost, Kansas, New York, Canada, good to see you guys. My 3 sons, congratulations, got their 1K. That is awesome.
Well done.
Mississippi, Australia, England. Oh, guys, Bahamas, Sparkle Beauty by Indiana Zaporta. Are you okay there? Bahamas. I really hope that you're okay. And yes, Colorado and Tennessee and Dallas is here, of course, as well. So many amazing channels. New Orleans is here. How do you really pronounce it? New Orleans?
New Orleans.
Or New Orleans?
New Orleans. The locals would say New Orleans. Yeah.
New Orleans?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
right.
New Orleans, welcome here.
Showing love to them, like Miss Nollins. I love her name. I think she's one of the greatest names on YouTube.
Yes, that's right. Houston, guys, you are amazing from all across the world.
Well, guys, I think it's time to do a little roll call here. Now you guys told us where you're from. Now it's time to get your name out here. A little bit of a rock star welcome, because as always, even though we're talking tonight, guys, you guys are the stars of the show. You know that already. You make our streams what they are, and we cannot thank you enough. But I hope it helps a little by getting your name out there. So I want to say a great big hello and welcome to YouTube Nation, Yo-Yo Biggs, WLG Shark YT. We got Wilbury Cottage Homestead. What the? Paranormal's in the house. We are M&S. What to Know, Vicky Davis, we have Venus Eats, Tocambo Latona TV, we have the Traveling Shintas, The Life of SNR, we have The Final Girl, we have The Cutting Board, we have the Creator Spotlight Show, we have The Boss, hashtag Dundee, The Artist Devil, we have the Ace Deuce family, we got Tales of the Solstice, we got Supernatural Lost. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
We have a super chat from Mimi. Hello. Hello. Welcome here. Glow and Glow. Hello, everyone. Welcome here.
Oh, my God. This is updating so fast, I can't even keep ahead of it. Let me try and see it. Tales of the Solstice, Supernatural Lost Adventures. We have Spider Gaming. We have Split Screen Gaming League. We have Spirit Vox Paranormal Dundee. We have Sparky Beauty. Silver City Dude. We got Shawana's Creative Circle. We got Scott Slots Channel. We got Salvatore Vinciguerra. We have Roy's the Boy, and we have Rose Dragon. We have Rock and Roller. We have Rena Sanders. We have Rico's Hunting Treasure. We got Ralph, a.k.a. Honk Honk here, folks. The Trucker and the Networker. Good to see you. We got Queen City Picker. We got Pure Moroccan. We got PSPR Paranormal Pursuit. We have Priscilla Honey. We have Phantom Nation. Paul Peck Drywall Tube.
And thank you so much for Super Chat to Kill Hat. Much love to Puša Studios, always helping everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Truly do appreciate the support. We got Patricia Sprinkles in the house. We got PA Hillbilly, another truck driver in here. We got Out in the Country. We got Our Alaska Cabin. We got One Man's Adventures. We got Netherexio. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly, but great to have you in here. Natural Yahweh is here. Native Granny. Narrow Way Farm. We got Naomi's Slots Channel. We got Mystic Angel Christina. We got My Three Sons. And we got Mahoney Magnet. We have Miss True Redbone. And we have Miss Newton's Big Family, Big Noise. We have Miss Naturally Nollins in the house, folks. We have Misty Alago. Welcome once again. We have Mr. Rich. We have Michelle Duquette in the house, folks. We have Mia Mina. We got Mimi, and we got McGee Homestead Adventures. We got Matt Kimball. We have Lucky from Kentucky. We have Lori's Crochet Corner. We have Living the RV Local Life, who just hit 1K. Congratulations to them. We have Life with Chloe and Vicky. Excuse me. We have Leonard Shea in the house. We have Leanne Michelle. We have LaShawn Terry. We have Kill Hut 702 and Kicking It with Karen Beyond Sauerkraut. We have Keeping It Fraser. We have Kaylin Strickland. We have Just Because and Joel Yo and JM Moving Pictures. We have JC Aquatics and those folks. And we got Jacob Billett here. We got Jackie Live A Little Adventures. Jackie Hutter Food Reviews, our resident sweetie. We have Into Pam and Jamie's World. We got Insight Weather. We have, oh my God, they're starting to move away on me here. iFrontenac Gamers. We have Idiot of the Day, folks. He's actually not an idiot, actually a really great guy. I Love Smoochies here. We have Hooley Boys Productions. We got Hike with Mike. Help Animals Live. We have Hawkeye Paranormal. We got Happy Trails Hiking. We got Gree 2057. Grant McIntosh in the house. Great to see him, Mac. And Grant and Janet. Grandma Ducky, Glitcher Gamer. We have Ginger Nightmare. We got Ghostly Findings Paranormal. We got George TV, The Fam. Got Gemma Harvey. Thank you so much for having me a while ago. It was great to be with you. Gana's in the house. Pusa. That's right. We got Flat Earth Forums. Great to see you. We got Fallen Angel, Expedition Greg, Eric Garcia, Elwin Morale, Elsa Fan 248. We got Duncan 1900 Homestead in here, and it just jumped
on
me.
And a super chat from Graced by God Psychic Medium. Oh. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat.
Thank you so much, a fellow Canadian. Great to see you in here. And we have Dougie West is in the house. We got Doritos in the lunch cart. We got Destination Chronicles. We got David Build Vlogs, and we have Chrissy ASMR. We got Coffee and Jam with Chris. We got CLC in Florida. We got Classy Comedy Cube E-Series. We got Christian Raymond Pastor. We have Shalino Sanchez. I hope I'm pronouncing Shalio Sanchez. I'm sorry if I'm not saying right, but it's great to have you in here. We got Sellers Chronicles, and we got Roger, Canadian Drone Hub in here, folks. Great to see you, Roger and Kim. Canna's World. We got Brant Ariels in the house, folks, and Billy's Vlogs. Big Eagle. Be the Difference Clothing is here. We got Baby Doll 77. BB Scratchin'. Awkwardly Kim. HEG. We have A Space for 3. We have Arlene in the house. We have Anthony Fuzier Studios. We have Anthony Benson. Angie in Real Life. Amber D. Mason. We have Eileen Krell. Adam X EP. AB and Woo, A Life at Home, 631 Slots. Thank you guys so much for being here. We missed you. Please say hi so we can say hello to you as well. It is great to have you all in here. Sorry about messing up some of your names, but it's great to have you here.
And Mix Mowers is here. Well, slap me sideways with a wet fish and call me Dottie. I love the hello. Hello, Vexicore. Oh, thank you so much for popping in, though. Hello, say hi if we missed you in the roll call. Brant Ariels jumped in and was like, oh my God, I'm so late. I'm too late for it.
Oh God,
Faye M. Awkwardly Kim, hello. YT City Girl. Fronted Gamers, hello, how are you? Fat Crack, hello. Jackie Live and Little Adventures, hello, good to see you. Naomi Slot Channel, thank you.
Well, yeah.
The real deal, my singing is, see? Another Rixio, hello and welcome here. Matt Kimball, hello and welcome here as well. Hello, everybody. Baby Doll, hello. Your music vlog, say hi to chat if we missed you. JM Moving Vlogs, Eileen Krell, thank you so much for a super chat. Thank you. Adamax EP, thank you, congratulations. Thank you so much. And guys, hello to everybody that is lurking or just watching. We love you too. Say hi in the chat if you can. And if you can, that's okay as well.
Tony says hello from Viewed This. Only here for a few minutes to have to get back to watching Mork and Mindy reruns. Well, last night he was doing the crossword puzzles and TV Guide. He is staying in touch with the times, guys.
Yeah.
He's hip.
He's staying classic. He's staying classic.
That's right. Right. Classic. That's right. That's the name of it. Good to see you, Tony.
Matt, we're glad that you are enjoying it. Welcome everybody. You just joining. Don't get scared. Everybody is getting eventually their blue wrenches here.
Yes,
so don't.
sure.
It's okay. Come on in.
Nut Reviews. How are you? Nerd of the North is in the house. How are you? Great to see you. Everybody getting nerdy with it. Great to see you guys. Guys, there's been a lot of buffering going on YouTube today. We're hoping we can avoid a lot of it. If there is, just hit refresh F5 on your keyboard if you're using a desktop PC. Command R on Mac. And of course, just use your finger for your phone, guys. Refresh it. Howard Matlock, thank you for all you guys do for us, guys. It is a two-way street. Never forget that, guys. Never forget that.
And we have our Zorian Buck, our old friend from Canada. Hello, how are you? And Free to Laugh Now says, I love the smell of monetization in the morning. I know. Wicked Fabs, hello. Yeah, we're going to ask how is everyone after we talk about it. Rolling Homestead and Wild Edibles, good to see you. How are you?
Hey, welcome. Great to have you in here. There's a guy who got us started on OBS, guys. Helped us out so much. Great to see you, my friend. And Resorian Buck is a past guest. He's been with us from the very beginning as well, guys. We give a shout out to a couple of the ones that got us off the ground, because without them, we wouldn't have any of it, the same as we wouldn't have this tonight if it wasn't for you guys. So check out Resorian Buck. He's a fellow Canadian, funny guy, does great videos, and a good musician as well, guys.
I will be right back.
I guess so, Galaxy, whatever number you're at, you're on to the next one. I've always believed that. There's no cap. It's like a store saying, well, we've had enough customers already. I guess we'll just turn everybody else away. 1111 code. Much love to you. Hope you're doing fantastic. Jim is in the house. Heidi ho, neighbors. Oh, between him and Tony, we're really getting retro in here. I love it. Two-way street. You've never been to my Hamilton, Ontario. I'd love to go. I was to Hamilton when I used to be a truck driver, and a couple times for music business as well. It's been a long time. Annie Pilates is in the house. How are you? Great to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. Guys, we're going to get into everything in just about maybe, 4 or 5 minutes, if that's okay with you guys. Just making sure everybody has time to get in and that get settled. Oh my God almighty. My monitor went waving. I got seasick.
You always are full of compliments. This is unbelievable.
If something bangs into something, it's going to make movement.
That something is your wife.
Well, that's why I brought it back to just basic physics. Basic physics.
The iceberg.
Oh.
The sniff truffles just made the waves. Wow. What a combination. Okay, we'll get back to the marriage therapy after, okay?
Hey there, Ariel Views. You joined at just the right time. Oh, no, Anthony, I'm good. It'll pass. It'll pass. Don't worry. We're good. It is great to have all you guys in here. The Living Proof Paranormal Investigation. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Tweet it out. Tell friends. The more, the merrier, guys. We're all in it together. It is an awesome pleasure to have you all here under one roof. There is a lot to talk about and a lot of great people to share with them. We want you guys' input as well. This affects many, many, many channels. A lot of channels that even you probably say, nothing to do with me. You'll be surprised. And we're also going to talk about the possible consequences coming from it as well, guys. We will promise, once again, anytime we talk about speculation site, we are going to tell you in advance. And anything you hear from us or from anybody else, do your diligent research, guys. Go and look it up. Go find it. Verify everything for yourself. There's lots of things flying around here all the time. And some have good intentions. It doesn't always come out the way it should be, and that some just get excited to run with something without fully understanding it. There's all kinds of reasons why. So just do your due diligence. It's your channel in the end, and if something happens, you know the old expression, ignorance is no excuse for the law. YouTube is very, very strict on that. I can be your nerdy marriage counselor. You just got to come to Norway for counseling. Hey, if that can get me to Norway, it's about the only time in my life I'll agree to counseling. So there you go. There you go. I'm up for it. So, hey, what's going on? Traveling Droner, how are you? Good to see you. Caddy, Thrifty Halls is in the house. Awesome to have you in here. Carolina Sky Astronomy. Great to see all you guys. The roof leaking apocalypse.
Yep. Once again.
I was waiting for Jim's input tonight. I was thinking of you, actually.
I think this time roof is just plainly falling in.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
Not even leaking anymore.
You know when you drive in the country, you see that old barn in the distance? Well, that's pretty much where we're at right now at that point. The roof, the snow has gotten one too many on it. So, thank you, Ellen. Much love to you as well. Any changes to YouTube? Yes, for sure, definitely. And we're going to get into those in just a minute. Just rolled in the door from picking up kids from school. Hi, Pusa Studios. How are you both this blessed day? Borderline hornetish. Always a pleasure to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic.
I always want to call him a horseradish. It's a good thing. I love horseradish.
She's amazing. She's like such an amazing streamer. I get such a kick out of her. I love her energy. I wish I could tap into it. I don't know where it comes from. There's also 5 new live stream features coming out next week that you should mention. Yes, yeah,
that as well. But you know what? I think this is something super changing. Yes, there are always new features that are actually, I might comment right away, that's not really new. It's just the same things that were in Classic now are going to be available in the Studio Beta. So
you know when O. Henry releases a bar and Hershey releases O. Henry and says the greatest bar ever, and it's pretty much the same bar, different wrapper?
Yeah.
That's pretty much in a nutshell where they are going with it. It sounds a lot more sexier than what it really turns out to be. It's a lot of the same, just in a different place. It's good they're doing it, don't get me wrong. But yeah, they did oversell it. And this here they undersold. This is what I love about YouTube. This is how it works. Like, you know, this stuff here just kind of lightly passing by and stuff like that. But then like, oh, we added a feature where you can see how many subscribers you have in the YouTube beta, folks. Like that kind of thing, like that. Then they do 10 videos about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meryl Mary, hello, how are you guys? I see all amazing people already sharing this out and also adding their selfies, so don't forget about that. Hashtag Blue and Show, we'll definitely check those out as well. And please share it out on your social media. Alive at home, hello, how are you? Patricia Sprinkles, hello, how are you doing?
Hope you're doing
Galaxy. Born Eraser,
hey,
hello, how are you? What the paranormal?
Yeah, that's my line.
I love that.
Okay, you can say it. Go ahead.
Oh, what the paranormal?
It's got to do with the shock. What the paranormal? Just living. Paula is in the house. How are you? Always great to see you. All right, I guess we've covered pretty much everything there is to cover. Any last housekeeping, as you call it, before we get into it?
No, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm pretty sure that everybody is wanting to hear what's going on, and it's 173 people in the chat, guys, and that just shows that we all care what's going on with our platform, and this is going to directly affect a lot of creators and indirectly affect everybody. And that's what we're going to talk about. So let's stick to the facts first, and then we'll discuss what is going on and how it's going to affect us.
Hi, Kel Williamson. Great to see you in here, and much love to you, Paula, as well. Thank you so much, George TV. Shout out to the awesome hosts joining this awesome live stream. Thank you so much, Naomi's Slot Channel. Do appreciate it. All right, guys. Oh, and Paul Peck is taking notes. Okay, so do you want to start off with slides? How do you want to do this?
Well, I wanted to introduce this with that. I don't know if you guys know, but FTC yesterday finally gave the statement to YouTube asking a whole bunch of different things that they have to change on the platform. And really what YouTube is doing with this announcement today is a response to FTC requirements. Could they do it a different way? Maybe. Could it be so drastic? It shouldn't have been. But they're trying to comply with FTC at the same time, trying to save their platform. That's how it looks like. We're going to upload some of the papers that we have gotten our hands on into our Discord later on, so you can go and check it out yourself. This is a FTC official statement, the original file. Where you can actually get acquainted with what was talked about and what exactly are the new requirements that they have to do in order to continue with the platform. So this is the results. Let's see what they have come up with. Are you talking about the Twitter or
I thought you were talking about this, so that's why.
No, that's all. I just wanted to introduce them. Why?
Okay. All right, guys. So sorry about that. This is a well-oiled machine. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to just jump over. We'll just do the Twitter post, and then we'll go into it. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to hit this first, guys. Announced by YouTube. We will treat data from anyone watching children's content on YouTube.com as coming from a child, regardless of the age of the user. Okay? This means we will only collect the data needed to support the operation of the service. We're going to jump through these and then we'll come back to them. We'll do one round and then we'll start talking about them. Personalized ads will stop running on content made for kids. That means no more personalized ads whatsoever, any shape or form, anything to do with anything marketed towards children. And that can be a lot broader. So if you're thinking right away, just kid unboxings and that, this could spread further, way, way further than that. Features like comments and notifications will no longer be available on videos made for kids. No comments and no notifications. Creators will have to identify content made for kids and will additionally find videos in this category using machine learning. That means through discovery, as well as you're going to have to be marketing it yourself. It is going to be up to you in the end. And of course, the same as not right now when we're doing age restricting, this is going to take it many steps further by doing it. And the responsibility solely lies on you, because the machine learning means the AI, of course, and it will be watching. In a separate statement, Simon FTC Commissioner Christine Wilson said the settlement will require Google and YouTube to create a system through which content creators must self-designate if they are child-directed. This obligation exceeds what any third party in the marketplace currently is required to do. What does that all mean? That sums up what we were just talking about. And this means the onus is going to be on you heavier than ever. The penalization for not adhering to it is going to be a lot stiffer. Plus, many of the rewards for gearing to a very lucrative market on YouTube, i.e. the kids segment, is dwindling away very quickly. If anybody has ever designed anything or taken classes in marketing and learned about how in the general world at the time to make products geared at kids, whether it's advertisements, whether it's TV shows, animation, you name it, The books that go with that are some of the most stringent. You would almost feel like a lawyer by the time you're done. It is a heavily dictated field. YouTube is basically saying we're not even going to give you the books to go with it. We're just going to clamp down on it and try and get rid of as much as possible, because unfortunately for them, they have not said this directly, but let's call it for what it is. It is a lot easier for them to deal with it based on this this protocol that they've come up with. So yes, things are going to be changing a lot. And yes, a lot of you that don't think this pertains to you, it will heavily pertain to you. So I'm just telling you right now, guys, you are going to have to get yourselves extremely familiar with this, because you're going to have a couple of months to fall in line with it. But a lot of the things that were even made harmlessly on here could really come back to bite you big time. And this is no fooling around. They want an end to it. They just don't want to be in the danger zone. So their way to handle it is they're just going to basically almost smother it out to the point that only a couple can really pull it off by being able to fall within these guidelines and be able to make any kind of a living or any kind of a mark here on the platform with anything geared to kids. And I'm going to tell you right now, any channel who does regular stuff but then ties in kids things to it now, kids seems laughing at stuff about kids. It doesn't have to be somebody abusing a child. It is as simple as doing stuff that's going to be kid oriented, pretending to be kids, kid scenarios, and anything. It is about to become one gigantic trap that can put your channel into severe peril. And you're going to think, the more we talk about examples, the more we brainstorm together, the more you look back at your own content, you're going to realize just how many things are now become a huge pitfall that can really hurt and or terminate you on this platform. This is where they, like you just seen there in that last part. I want to show that again just to really knock it home here. Hang on 1 second. This obligation exceeds what any third party in the marketplace currently is required to do. This is the agreement that had to come by to be able to rope the problem around enough to appease the FTC. So that says how things are going to be on here from now on. So this is something to heed warning from. We're going to talk about it more, guys. We're just kind of jumping into a fast summary of everything right now, but we will break it down more, discuss it further. But just wanted to get everybody a little up to speed. Xenia, you want to talk for a little bit?
Yeah, so there I see some of the questions already. Yes, there are some things that are defined and some that are not. This is just a beginning. What YouTube is doing is giving 4 months time for family channels and kids-oriented videos creators that are making those kind of videos to prepare for this huge change. Because obviously, with the loss of YouTube ads, there's going to be a huge loss of revenue for family channels and kids videos. Now you are going to ask, well, what is it? What you know, what is it? What are we talking about? What kind of content? They're not specifying just yet exactly, but in their extended article about it, they talk about gaming for kids. So if it is a game that it is meant for kids to play, that is going to be affected. If it is a vlog containing kids that pertains to kids audience, that's going to be affected. If there are kids in the videos, that means automatically that it is for kids audience, that's going to be affected. Any unboxings of toys, any unboxings, any kind of reviews of toys or anything geared towards kids is going to be affected. And now what we are stuck with is basically two sides of it. So if you have adult content, you'll have to mark it as adult content, and it will be demonetized automatically because all adult content is demonetized. And that's as per last week's updates that we were talking about. And this new update, you will have to also mark if it's specifically kids content, and it also will be demonetized. So the only people that are going to be monetized are going to be those somewhere in the middle, the very family friendly but not oriented for kids and not oriented just for adults, somewhere the golden in the middle. And if you fail to mark it correctly, you will get a strike. They do talk about not marking in adult content getting a strike. They're not specifically talking about that, about marking as a kids, but that's obviously, if you're against the rules, you do get a strike.
Yep.
So there's going to be much more channels getting strikes for not adhering to the rules. First, starting in 30 days, well, less than 30 days at the end of September for the adult content marking, and then in 4 months for kids content marking. And there's going to be substantially less people having monetized their channels somewhere in the middle. Now, is it a plus thing for those that are going to be monetized in that middle? Maybe we're going to get more better ad rates. Who knows? We don't know. But it definitely is going to cut their revenue a lot, and it's going to affect a lot of people, and that means it's going to affect a lot of people in general, not just the ones that are directly affected, but creators in general, because the whole system of the content on YouTube is changing.
Paul asks, where is this all coming from? What is the reason for this? This was the start of the first Adpocalypse, and it was blurred by PewDiePie and all that stuff. But there was a lot going on, and now I'm going to forget the brothers, the Berry brothers, Bradbury brothers and all them. They were doing stuff back then, like dressing up, like, because the hot thing was Elsa, Frozen, and that. Superman, Spider-Man. They would dress up in all those characters, pretend they were taking a crap on each other, sexual positions, all these things going on. And that's what brought on the first Adpocalypse. When this went on, YouTube was starting to get under the iron more. They were starting to watch more. And that's when it happened. They started coming down on them more, starting to question more. The media became more aware, and that's why we're getting all these mini Adpocalypse since, all leading up to what's happening now. Basically, what they don't want is for another video to end up on the Wall Street Journal or somewhere with a picture of an ad for, I don't know, just, you know, when you're trying to think of a brand at the time, for Ford or GM or somebody, and somebody dressed up in an Elsa suit pretending that they're having relations with Spider-Man. This is a sweeping change this time. So instead of trying to curb down on the ones that were doing those type of which they did, now following the FTC regulations, they've decided to basically just do away with it, because they don't even want to leave the opening for a chance for it to happen again. We're not waving a flag about this, guys. We're talking very diplomatic about it. And I see from both sides first and foremost, okay? So, I mean, have a proper debate. It's got to be discussed that way. Whether we debate or not, at this point, they are going through with it. And you have to realize what's been going on is that kind of stuff in their hands. And with so many platforms on, and so many, the same as in here, like, you know, when we talk about, you know, how we can't let people show their numbers unless they're close, because then a few take advantage of it. That was the same thing that was happening in there. They set a law, so they found ways around it. Like at the time they talked about nudity, and they said, well, you know, breastfeeding is a natural occurrence, and it should be part of health. Well, what happened was you got a bunch of them that started doing like things where they're feeding kids, and they have skirts on with their legs on with panties and all that stuff. It was, once again, they found a way to circumvent it. And we could sit here and say that YouTube should be checking everything so the right stuff does get through and those ones get hit, yes. But I don't see them doing it. There's just too much content. It's too far to get around. And I'm just bringing up like many examples on them, guys. The list is long and wide. And I'm not standing up for YouTube, so please don't give me hate onto it. I'm just saying we got to look at it from both sides. Kids content at the best of times. Anybody's done, like I say, for the network and that, I did have to study part of it, and through my studies, even down to skin tones, you're only allowed to use certain colors that are registered for it. The books are thick and wide on the do's and do nots you can do with anything involving children. And YouTube kind of gave a bit of open for all of us to get through it. And now they're clamping down onto it. And they're clamping down hard. And I'm going to tell you right now, I got questions I seen a while ago, like, what about if I'm a Disney Channel on that? Most certainly, you are in the crosshairs. And we have lots of good friends in here, good friends of our channel that do Disney channels. And, you know, it's adults, and they're more into it than kids. They're going to have a hard time because that's still considered geared towards children. Even though the conversation's not about it, even though they do really great content, that's the type of stuff they are definitely going after. So, you know, it's adults talking about it, and especially if they decide to have a drink during it or whatever, or a cigarette. There's so many ways to fall in this pitfall. Same as a channel that decides, their husband and wife, oh, let's have some fun. We're going to pretend we're kids, just joking around and batting at each other, kind of fooling around as if they're toddlers. All that stuff, it's gone. It for all effective purposes, that's exactly all the stuff they're going after. And anything geared towards children directly, guys, is in the past. So it's not just the stuff that you're thinking of, because I want to stress that for sure. Unboxing, toy reviews, all those things are definitely in there without a doubt.
Now, guys, what do you think? What else could fall in it? Like Disney is under question because if it depends what kind of content are you posting there. K-pop. Is that geared toward kids? What else are you thinking of? What could fall under
Furries, Nintendo fan sites, all those things that fall with Star Fox, all those ones like that.
Yeah, and they specifically said the games geared towards kids are definitely going to fall under it. And as I said, the vlogs with kids, vlogs for kids, storytelling, fairy tales, cartoons, obviously, all of that goes on automatically under it. Big Rob, aka Godfather, I just wanted to say thank you for Super Chat. Yes. Thank you so much. Before we forget, thank you. So what do you think? What else could fall under it? Because they do specify some of it, but they don't specify all of them. Because as they say, this is just the beginning, and they're going to come with more details as the time passes. They give us 4 months to prepare for this, and I'm getting nervous just thinking about it. Yep. Because, there was this rumor about getting the hours up and subscriber counts, which is false, that nothing like that is happening. Well, this is even worse. This is even worse because this is affecting all of the community from both sides. The community guidelines changes that came out 2 weeks ago cut off one end, and this cuts off the other end. Yep. And as a parent, I do understand the reasoning why, but as a creator, I think this really cuts way beyond, like no ads, no comments. Why no comments? Instead of focusing all of the, attention to their kids app, which by the way will be available in a desktop version as well, now they're kind of merging it together with the regular YouTube app, and everybody will get affected, no matter if you are family channel or not, because obviously family channels, kids-oriented channels, and kids audience in general is a huge, one of the biggest part of YouTube in general. So if that affects them, it's going to shake up everybody. Only the question is how.
Dakota and family, guess our channel is toasted. Autism awareness was our focus. You see, this is the thing. This is the sad reality of all of it. There's a grand example right there that probably will end up having a good chance of having trouble on here. Even the channel's trying to do something really good on here, bring up important messages. Guys, it's not finalized yet. We brought you what we could. Like I said, we knew about the part of it last week. We didn't want to come to you until we had something out more. Right now, people are asking, does this count? Does that count? Most places right now, if you're questioning it, you almost want to put it on the shelf until further notice and then slowly release back what you think is going to scale. But remember, with everything that comes out from YouTube, it's always going to be gray. There's going to be, they'll give you points to work within. But those points are extremely subjective. And that's where it's so easy to hang your channel. And you have to outweigh where it is. A, is your channel mostly based about what we're talking about tonight? If it is, you got to do something quickly. B, if you've done things like this in the past through and through, I've seen some people bringing up examples. I think it was Joe Z saying he just did a video recently with his about roosters with his grandson. It's hard to say. It's all going to be sort of into context and also how aggressive that the algorithm is going to come after it. And I believe it's hard too for channels like I say that, especially ones that have adults doing childlike themes. And I'm not here to judge. I love a lot of the stuff that they're talking about because I seen who asked a minute ago, Philip Cochran about remote control cars. Yeah, there's a great example. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, that stuff you're starting to get a little bit safer, but it's hard to say. I would be very fearful for the Disney channels right now. I really would. I think it's so unfair, the love and the passion they put into what they do, but they're just a shining example. The cartoon one, the comic book channels, pop collectors, those ones all are in that huge gray area that can really take a big hit from all of this. Age limit. Well, they were saying it was, geared towards they used to the 13, I believe they're counting it as because they go up, but it can vary to 18 depending on the subject.
Yeah, well, they haven't again specified exactly, but in YouTube guidelines in general, kids content is 18 and under, and that's what exactly when they were talking 2 weeks ago about the other side, extreme side of the content, they were talking about 18 and up. So we don't know. It might be 13, might be 18, but officially kids channel is 18 and under because that's counted as minor.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, there's a couple other things that we can add to this as well. Obviously, like we said, it's going to be affecting all the kids' characters, themes, toys, games, all of that, as we were talking about, and even more. They are promising to improve YouTube Kids at the same time, but at this point, I don't even know what's the point of having YouTube Kids if they are doing this.
Yep.
And of course, they're going to be investing in family creators. They're promising 100 million fund establishing that's going to be distributed among 3 years and dedicated to specific family creators to make custom content for YouTube.
And Jim says YouTube's new mission statement, be subjective. Sigh. He's right. Because if you think about it, you just look about how they're saying now how you have to age restrict stuff if it's over 18. Like the other night when we celebrated, because we had a couple of drinks on channel, we had to age restrict it and do it in 2 parts. So we wouldn't have to age restrict when we hit 10K. So you take that side, and then you come down the other side where for children's content, they've narrowed it basically what they want on here. They're basically corralling us all into the funnel that they want us to follow, and it is getting a lot narrower leeway to do stuff on here. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's part of it, Dakota and family. It's part of FTC because of 170 million, and also with that fine came the requirements. They didn't require taking the ads away. They're required to deal with the situation, but obviously they can't sell, it's a business. They also are hiring 10,000 more people that are going to be overlooking the flagging system because at the first it's going to go through the algorithm and machine to detect if it is kids content or not, or if it is mature content or not. But then they promise to hire also 10,000 more people to deal with the situation. In the meantime, hopefully that will help, but I'm just only guessing what kind of chaos it's going to be to try to distinguish all of these different channels, because there was questions like hunting channel with the kids in it or
fishing channels,
dinner with the kids, is it geared towards kids? No, specifically.
Grant was saying raise the age up to 13 probably will happen for a channel. It's already supposed to be 13 to sign on, but it's just going to be reinforced more and more and more. But it is true, fishing channel, all those ones can take a hit on this as well. Depending on the context, it was mostly kids fishing. God forbid a lot of them today can't even show once you bring a fish in the boat. You can't even show what you do with it after because that can be there is so many things, guys. They are going PC and they're going PC big time. Now, that said, I still believe there's some decent leeway in here. Time will tell. So I don't want to get too on the right or the left and all this. I think that's something Xenia and I both agree on too. Somebody said a while ago there's going to be better ad rates. There is a plus in all these things. If you are working, from 13 to 18. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you never know. You never know. I am sure that would be like a last resort, but you never know. Anything is possible the way they're going. But I want to stress that too, guys. You heard me talk the other night about business and what we call a forest fire during a recession and that. There is a really good chance to actually probably maybe even get a little bit better return on here for doing content that fits within the guidelines, more of a reward, if you will. And that's just the sake of it. I mean, we got to find something good in all this, don't we? I did a broadcast on the beach. I stayed away from swimmers and people laying on the beach. Exactly, Joey Brooklyn. Exactly. You have to be so careful today. The most innocent things you could do, and it's not like you're standing there over top of them, but just being somewhere even within the realm. BNO, thank you.
Oh, I just was thinking about you today.
How are you doing? Oh, thank you so much. I hope you're feeling well. Hope work is going well. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for listening in. I hope the humans have brains, Amina says, but that's the problem. this is too big for anybody to control, and it's too varied in what one person considers art, the other one considers demoralizing, and back and forth and across that whole spectrum of perspective. That's why things are getting so corralled in. That's the problem. I wish there was a way to control the young kids to having their own channel. Yes, I agree. But you know, the sad part is too, is some of the parents that brought their kids onto here and completely exploited them too to make money. So some of them almost need another set of parents just to watch them. Let's face it, there's been some pretty appalling stuff that's happened. I don't want to talk about it right now because that even puts our channel in kind of a flux. But it's not all just on the kids. I agree with you, and there's also the side of the adults acting like kids, the adults using other kids. It's guys, there are some things, whether we like it or not, we all got to admit, if you've seen any of the stuff, there's some things that went way too far in here, and I don't blame YouTube for being cautious onto it. That said, maybe there's a better way to do this. I'm not saying they're right. Please don't hunt me down over it. But there has been also some really bad things going on in here too that's making the whole platform look bad for all of us. And the magazines are playing on it hook, line, and sinker. And YouTube's paying the price. And every time they do, the AdSense goes down. There's more fight over it. I can see their point from a business side.
Anthony asked a very valid question. Do you think this will apply to all platforms like Twitch and Instagram? It definitely sets a precedent. It's the first precedent ever for now, but it definitely sets one because YouTube is a bigger platform than Twitch, Instagram, or any other platform for now. So it definitely sets precedent for that. You know, communities like TikTok that has been, booming up. Yep. Definitely Instagram, Twitch, possibly. It's very possible.
Thank you, One Man's Adventure, for the super chat, by the way. Thank you so very much for the support.
Thank you. Interesting. I have a different logo than you have on One Man's Adventure. Do you see that?
I've never seen.
Yeah.
Oh,
that is so crazy interesting. Yeah.
I
will never give up, Nerd of the North says. Yes. Yeah.
But it is going to be hard, and all the things playing with it. It's that walking the line between kids' elements that bring into adult content, and that where is the line? And do you start getting a bunch of community strikes when you weren't really sure? The simple advice, guys, because I know people have been asking about it, the simple advice is stay as far away from it as humanly possible. It's not a great answer. It's a censatory answer. I don't like saying that answer. If you want to be safe, stay as far away from it. Don't be near the gray line. Make sure that line is on the other side of the field. That's a shitty answer, but that's the fastest, cleanest answer in the meantime, at least you can get.
Jacqueline Crafton Halls asks, do you get a strike if you're not monetized? Yes, and it's a common myth that you can't get a strike if you're not monetized. That is a myth. That is not true. You can get copyright and community guidelines strike no matter if you are monetized or you're not. It has nothing to do with monetization. Obviously, the monetization part is going to affect those that are monetized, but the strike part, you will still have to market no matter if you are monetized or not, because that's the part of the community guidelines that you have to be within.
Jim says, I'm not going to change anything. I run my show as though I was in public, and that's how I will continue to operate no matter what YouTube decides is right or wrong. And that's a very valid point. Hats off to you onto it, for sure. Like I said, I'm just answering because some of them are asking me, there's no real other answer. Anything else is a complete and utter real lie right now because we don't have the fundamentals into it. And let's call for what it is. Once they do lay out the exact rules and regulations, they're going to have a broad reach because they've learned over time that it's easier to keep them broad because there's just too many channels to make it completely black and white, and that gives them more chance to take down channels trying to circumvent it. That's the whole reason why. So even with live streaming, anything that's seen, anything that is seen up here.
Any content is content, no matter if it's 30-second video or if it's an 8-hour live stream. It's just still a content.
That's another myth, guys, and I have heard that. I know he wasn't doing that way, but there is a myth on that. Please understand. There is no difference in the YouTube regulations regarding live streams and or videos. You do not get more leeway with one or the other. There is zero. They all fall under the same domain of those terms and services. It's cut and dry. It's about the only thing that's about cut and dry in this whole thing. Whether you do a live stream or you do a video, you have to adhere to the same rules. There's no difference. There's no give or take on any of them. So
Super sticker, super chat from Paddy72. I'm going to try not to be as excited for the serious matter.
yeah, well, and after we can say them and then get excited at the end.
Thank you so much. Now, the question is what you guys can do.
Oh, no, I get you, Jim. No, sorry, because Jim says that wasn't a response to anything you said, just a statement. No, and I agree, and that's what I mean. You know what? And you and I think a lot of the same things on this thing, for sure, you know, and I admire your conviction onto it. I really do.
No, of course. Well, gross stream, as you call it, is not kids geared unless you have a cartoon playing in the background, or you have toys on the shelf beside you that you're selling or something like that. That would directly be geared towards kids audience. No, then you wouldn't have to do that because it's quite neutral, right? You can't control who comes in. Exactly that. So it can't be anything graphic, can't be extra mature, and can't be anything extra geared towards kids, including any content in your live stream. Like I said, background that is geared to kids, like merchandise that is directly geared to selling to kids, things like that also count as targeting for kids audience. Carolina Auditor, hello, how are you? Hello, everybody just coming in. We're talking about the new changes in the YouTube policy and the way it's going to affect all of us, not only the
And we are
channels.
already at limited monetization. Surprise, we already got limited monetization for this. We appealed it. So this is why we even struggled to make the thumbnail today, to make the title, is how do we do it without tripping off the limited monetization that usually happens with anything that's considered controversially discussed about the platform on here, disparaging comments. So even though we're not picking on them, this happens all the time.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Nobody was picking. In description or in the title, they still didn't like it.
So that's why we're going to ask you guys, really guys, if you can help us out and tweet this out, because YouTube, that means right now at this moment, it's not pushing it as much since it did that. So if you guys can help us get the word out, just take 30 seconds and tweet this stream out. See if we can overhaul that a little bit on our own. We would really appreciate it to get more people in here so they can discuss as well. Where do I find the info on this, the new policy? We have links already, Xenia?
Yes, I will definitely give them at the end of the live stream, and also I will try to put them on our Discord as soon as possible as well.
Thank you so much, Nerd of the North. I do appreciate it. That is the tricky part, guys, of us covering some of these ones we do. We do get that pretty much. And it's not, listen, we're not getting rich off AdSense. Everybody knows that. It's not going to be a retirement plan. But it just means that it gets less push. Anytime we cover anything that's a little bit controversial about YouTube in its eyes, here's its name, gets a feel for it. This is what happens. So if you guys can help us tweet it out, that would be absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. What the Paranormal. Smash the like button. Appreciate it. YouTube is always changing its rules and regulations as well as other stuff, but it is a good thing, and it does take into consideration small creators, like many of us are. It's very simple. I mean, as much as we don't like it, we can definitely do things to counteract it. And because I know Jim's ears are popping up, he's probably thinking we can. But in the meantime, that's the way it is. Adpocalypse has got to be on the most definitely. Most definitely, because that was an older listener guy. Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's what we spent hours today trying to figure out what we could get away with to get the message out, but without getting problems. Like we couldn't put nothing with kids onto it. We couldn't do cartoon writing. We tried different things, and we're just like, yep, that will get it taken down. That'll get it taken down. So it's hard to even have a productive conversation about anything on here. And as a side note, once again, guys, it's not just the small ones. Remember, the big ones are really going to pay. Imagine some of the channels, once again, that have built their career. The legitimate family ones are, on the line. They have sometimes 4, 5, 10, 15 million subscribers. A lot riding on it at this point. Imagine what they're going to be going through,
Definitely. There are channels, that have millions of subscribers that have built it all on unpacking the toys, for example, or their children reviewing the toys. Well, that's going to fall directly into it. I personally think that the middle tier is going to be affected the most because the big YouTubers have a lot of promotional stuff. They have sponsorships and things like that pay for their wealth, and besides ads, but the middle tier is kind of not getting really enough money from ads and not enough from sponsor. So I think middle and the small ones are going to be affected the most because small ones, I think lots of channels are just going to give up because there's going to be so many restrictions.
let's call it for what it is, guys. They're just hoping a lot of channels will give up. Gone, then that's one less problem in their eyes to deal with. Let's call it for what it is. They know that people are still going to find ways to do content within the bounds. There is Twitch, there is TikTok, all those things and that. But it's always the biggest one that gets the biggest clout. And we all remember the days when Microsoft went through it and stuff like that. There was other browsers, all kinds of operating systems. It's a part of how it goes. So they're just more hoping that the problem ones are just going to fade away and the ones in the gray will fade away. And then that's one big issue off their plate. That's my personal opinion. I've always thought that. There's so many channels on here. They're more than happy to shed some and keep moving on. Is it fair? Is it right? That's depends which side of the post you're on. But it's a lot easier in YouTube's situation to do it this way pretty much than anything else. That's the biggest part.
Yeah, but Golden Retro Movies, those million subscriber channels also had 10 subscribers at some point. We all started somewhere, right? And it's not really fair in a way saying, well, they don't deserve my attention anymore because they grew big. Well, you wish the small channels to grow, and they eventually, some of them are going to be big. We all started at the same point. And that's the gray area. Once again, the Creator Spotlight Show. I know a handful of creators that are between 14 and 17 years old, and we are going to interview them. Is this going to be a no-no? Well, if they specify the age as 18 and under, that you most likely will have to mark it as a kid-geared. But it's a speculation.
Yep. But it does open up a lot of those traps.
Now, it also doesn't specify if it will apply to the past content or only to the new one. That's also a big question, because imagine now going through all of the library. The changes from 2 weeks ago apply to the old content too. So I assume it would apply to the old content as well, but they don't specify it. So there are going to be a lot of details coming out that they're going to be trickling and not probably posting anywhere public, just in their, community, just so nobody talks about it too much. So we'll try to keep a close eye on it for sure.
Well, it all depends on the context they're done into, Destination Crime, but pretty much if the kids are any kind of a focal point into it, the way it looks like it is going to have to be put under as content for children and under, because they are a focal point into it. And what they're saying is it's basically anything that would attract children to want to watch what you're doing. That would have I'm going to use this term probably, there's the slightest chance of being appealing to kids. So it's not, that's why I wanted to say at the beginning, it's not just like, oh, look at me, I'm unboxing and My Little Ponies. It's anything that will tie in to what children would tend to gravitate to if they seen it pop up as a recommendation. That's probably the best way to summarize it. That's why it's going to hit so many channels that weren't even marketing towards kids, but still their content is appealing to minors. I hope that puts a little more in perspective what we're talking about. And where does that line begin and end? That's the hardest thing to call at all. So the slightest chance. Exactly. That's it, video Jim. That's it. And it is that opens up a whole Pandora's box that who in the hell can figure out where it begins and ends? What if your intro for your videos all have a dancing rabbit around it and stuff like that, but it's all just normal adult talk? Is that, if that's on all your thumbnails, is that rabbit on the front enough to be considered as something that would be appealing to kids, even though you do nothing to engage with them whatsoever when you're on? So it's a gray area. I mean, we're bringing to you tonight what we've got now officially, and we said we would speculate some. And remember, guys, you got to keep up with it. You got to get to YouTube. Got to keep checking these things out and see where they're progressing. Don't just wait on us, and don't take whatever you hear on YouTube as the God's word, guys. Please research, even with us. Go and look up your stuff so you're well versed into it. Don't let anybody else. You have a right to not follow this. Nobody's pushing, but just make sure that you're doing it with the good intentions of the good knowledge of what you're going against. So what if we mark everything as adult viewing? You can, but you're not going to be monetized on anything.
Either or, you're not going to be monetized. That's the whole problem here.
That's that narrow
both,
funnel.
yeah, the both sides of it is not going to be monetized, and you will have to single-handedly mark your content, either one or the other, or hope that if you don't mark it, it's not going to be getting a strike. That's what basically it is. And yes, if it does not completely get towards kids and you're not graphic or all of that we discussed 2 weeks ago, then most likely you fall into middle and like Video Call-In Show, but depending what kind of people you have on your channel and what kind of subjects you have, like Creator Spotlight Show brought a perfect question about having kids on your interviews. That is definitely, I think, will be filtered. Most likely, depends what kind of age from, but it still might fall under it. So there is these gray areas, and your channel might not get demonetized as a whole, but your certain videos might get, and the more videos you have demonetized, the less push you get from YouTube. So there is this consequence that they are not mentioning, but will be there.
Now, here's another point that I was thinking about today. I was talking with Xenia. Here, we will treat data from anyone watching children's content on YouTube.com as coming from a child, regardless of the age of the viewer, the age of the user. Here's another. Now, this is speculation once again, but when I read this also makes me wonder if they're going to do so in this fashion. Does that also mean? I'm just going to take a user, okay? They have a child that's 6 years old. Their child goes on their YouTube account in the morning and watches a lot of preschool stuff. Then that user likes to go and watch, I don't know, Court TV or whoever. Not adult, we're not talking like adult rated X, just adult content. Does that mean then if that person is letting their child use that account, which a lot of end users, a lot of viewers do, does that mean that any content now that they think is risque is not going to be recommended to them as well? So therefore also like cutting down on the visibility of channels that are doing stuff like that. And that would hurt a lot for people creating content on here because they just won't be recommended anymore to anybody who has any hint or inkling that there might be a child on that account, that they just don't recommend them. That anything that has the slightest thing they think might offend or not be for a child, that end user just won't get the notifications anymore. And that's where I'm also wondering how far it's going to go on that, because if they're going this far to protect on this side, it makes sense that they would want to go and do it on the end user as well. And a lot of end users just use a generic, their account, Bob21 or whatever they call themselves, to do that. And that's a concern of mine right now. Is that the way this might all play out too? So it's not only on the creator and trying to cover themselves, not knowing where to go, but also the end user who might be subscribed to a lot of our channels, but don't get it because we've done something like that YouTube doesn't think is proper for children, so it just doesn't recommend us at all to that account anymore, even though it is subscribed to us. Or we'd usually be recommended as topics for them because of what they watch, but because now there's a hint of kids viewing on that account, those days are over. And that's really going to hurt a lot of us if that happens.
Yeah, and it is speculation, but it is very possible as one of the consequences for sure. The same as not being pushed as much if you get more and more videos demonetized. You know, that's the things that are not going to be talked about, but are going to be happening for sure. And I just wanted to comment on video call. Oh, Otero Studios,
Yes, I just want to take his. He says, "I'm screwed. LOL, kids love her." Unfortunately, I see a channel like yours having such a hard time now, even though you're geared mostly towards adults that enjoy comic books, because there's a comic book theme in that. It is one of those channels that I worry will get right in the crosshairs for this.
Well, Video Call-In Show, first of all, this is as a consequence for the ruling of FTC, which is in US, just FYI. And also, what I wanted to comment about Video Call-In Show was saying, well, I'm not monetized. It's not going to affect only the channels that are monetized. Once again, you will, monetized or not monetized, you will have to choose what kind of content you have. Mature, kids-oriented, or somewhere in the middle. And if you fail to do it right, you will still get a strike. You know, the monetization part, fine, it doesn't affect you. But the strike goes to you no matter if you are monetized or not. Like we said, it has nothing to do with monetization. It's two separate things. I know it's frustrating. Believe me, we all are feeling. And I mean, I even think back to like our Halloween mukbang video we did, live stream.
How does that all tie
Well, that
into it?
probably
You
would
eat
be
candy.
mature No,
Yeah.
that would be mature content probably.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So we would not be monetized on something as harmless as just us dressing up for Halloween, joking around, but as adults doing it, that would probably do it right there. I mean, how much more harmless can you ask for? It's definitely like a lot of gates going down. Welcome, Heather. I'm in, by the way. Great to have you in here. But don't kids read comic books anymore, do they? 1 minute facts, exactly.
Well, some of them do. I mean,
Yep. That's why they'll demonetize it under the kids side of it. It's
the
awful.
big question will stay if they are gonna keep that 18 as a
Yeah.
border of having mature, kids or somewhere in the middle, family friendly, because that's like we talked about 2 weeks ago. There is a huge difference of having something for 17-year-old or something for a 3-year-old. I mean, you can't even compare that. And why wouldn't they have a little bit more categorized things in their kids app instead of targeting children like children gear? I wouldn't even call children 17-year-old. I mean, it's young people, right? But it still falls under the same target. Chess Harper, hello, how are you doing? Welcome here. And yes, so once again, I repeat that this new guideline that has been announced today is going to start 4 months from now to let creators adjust and change, because obviously the ones that are going to be affected directly are going to have huge drastic changes on their income, on their videos and strikes and all of that. And the community guidelines that we talked about 2 weeks ago about extra mature content already has started on the 21st of August, but the fines, so to say, are going to be applied at the end of September. So we're going to see what happens then. And that's going to be part 1 of all of this, probably.
Sorry, I hate to and closed all this by accident.
If you didn't see or you haven't heard about the part of talking about mature content, so if you are paranormal community, if you have anything graphic, if you have scary things, if you have hunting guns or anything like that, this definitely applies to you. That's that other part of it, the other extreme side. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. The link is down below in description. Please check it out, because that's going to be the quickest one. That's at end of September. They're going to start striking the channels.
FDL Seeker, how would this work for survival bushcraft prepping channels? Talking about themes about being stranded and all that stuff. You use a knife or a hatchet into it all. You know where this is all going. You see where I'm going with this. You're pretty much in the same boat then as the hunting channels and all that. Talking about rifle, cleaning rifles, all that stuff. Everything is up for grabs right now. It doesn't, and just for the record, it doesn't matter if you're doing it the right way or the wrong way. I grew up hunting. I'm not waving any flags on it. I'm talking about all this in general. They're not worried about yeah, exactly, Amy. Even using stuff in its right form can trigger it now. Because it's a hatchet, or especially if somebody does who was it was Tom saying they threw the axe at the beginning, they're just practicing a bit.
Yankees.
It was Yankee Outdoors.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is going to be they're going after it like tooth and nail now. A lot of these things are innocent. I feel weird talking about all this stuff tonight. I grew up in a rural area. I mean rural. I've done all this stuff. And the stuff that I see today is considered as terrifying, offensive, worrisome. I can't even begin to wrap my head around it. I cannot. I mean, the triggering words are just beyond belief. The most basic, common, understanding practices going, even in survival, bushcraft and that, are becoming blocked words now, blocked action, stuff like that. Yeah, exactly, Gary says, I think I am okay. Just aerial footage of scenery and nature mostly. My grandkids watch, so I think I'm... yeah. I mean, that's it. It's the ones that, that's why I was glad when you brought up bushcraft and that. Really, every kid should learn about it. Every kid. God help us if we ever lose power and all. I'm not exactly a end of the world kind of guy, but, I mean, this is like the last place that we can finally get kids to learn a little bit about how to survive on their own, but...
Miguel says, I'm just being optimistic that enough creators will fight back on this and change will come after this change. Well, I don't think there's much can be changed, and we'll just have to live with it. This is the consequence of FTC ruling, so it's not like YouTube decided to change it on their own. It's a consequence of their fine and the ruling that came out just today, earlier this morning. So, we can't really fight against the law.
We could change it, and it would mean us all having to pay a fee to be on here and have it a lot more controlled. We'd have to pay to create. That's about the only way that it could work. And it doesn't look like it's going to do that anytime soon. So, will I get nailed because I have spinning knives props on my drone?
Who knows?
Yeah.
The answer is who knows. There are things that are very white and black, and we understand, okay, this is for kids and this is very mature, common sense works there, and we understand those. But then there's things that fall in this gray matter, so to say, and we don't know. So like I said, at the end of September, we're going to see what falls in the gray area of mature content. We'll see. And then kids' content will fall into 4 months from now. So we'll just have to wait and see. There are tons of channels that are getting terminated. I have received a couple of the messages from people that got their channels terminated with no emails even. Mm-hmm. With no notifications, no emails. Your channel just doesn't exist, and it's not a hack or nothing. It's not there. It just says, community guidelines, too many strikes, blah, 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 and it's done. And you don't even get an email. There's nothing you can do about it. It's already the start of it. Unfortunately, we don't want to raise the panic here or drama, but the facts are the way they are, and it's better to be aware of them ahead of time, so maybe we can try and prepare ourselves for it.
And guys, I know there's a lot of comments, and I'm sorry we're missing some of them. I'm glad you guys are discussing amongst yourselves. That's the whole point, is, guys, to have discussion about it. I feel bad because there's so many great ones, but we just can't get to them all. I do apologize, but it's great to have all you guys' input, and I'm glad you're discussing with each other. I just wanted to point that out. That is absolutely awesome. It is hard right now, guys, and we're going with what they have. Please, we're right in the middle of a serious talk. We would not be doing the numbers right now or stuff like that. Sorry about that, but that's done right here. We can talk about it after. Oh, excellent, Pauline. Glad you've been listening in. Thank you so very much. Do appreciate it. Diane D. Typing, you said they collect data from both. They're going to be judging it. When they talk about here, they're talking about the viewer that they're going to be collecting from. We will treat data from anyone watching children's content on YouTube as coming from a child. So that's the whole thing with this. That's why it brings me back to that point that I'm speculating onto. If they're doing this, I don't believe in the future they're going to start recommending anybody who they consider in a gray area or violating these things. They're going to recommend them anymore to them, because if they're already watching and have decided that it is a child watching, they're not going to probably want to recommend videos going to them that is on the gray line or falls in the category of what we've been talking about tonight. So that could cut down viewership for a lot of people. Because that would mean that they're just not recommended what YouTube doesn't want them to see. There's another huge purge already happening with studios, and I feel bad for all.
Yeah, they already closed hundreds of thousands of accounts, and videos have been deleted as a part of the previous guidelines. Once again, that was coming out 2 weeks ago. There is other part also about the censorship and all of that is in the in the active, so to say, but I think this is the more important and the most important part, because it will affect everybody. That I'm kind of in the middle. I do all kind of product reviews and unboxing, from stuff for kids to pets. Well, yeah, but see, so the videos where you review or unbox kids items, like kids toys or games for kids or anything for kids, those will have to be marked as kids, and then the rest of them you could leave as they are. So you will have to use your own judgment for each and every video if you fall in both categories. That will not get their videos monetized. This makes me want to leave. Well, you will get monetized for the videos that are for the, average family friendly gray area. For the whole family. If the whole family can watch it together and are still be interested, then you're fine.
I'll put it to you this way. YouTube is hoping on a lot of people saying that I'll just leave. That makes their life that much easier if that happens. And that's something everybody's got to decide. But probably in the boardrooms where they discuss it, they can't say that directly. That's probably the first thing they're hoping for, that it will discourage a lot of channels that feel like they're walking the gray area to just walk out. That makes their life it's so much more easier to enforce if there's less people doing it, and it's easier for them to catch channels before they become huge and going to take them down and have a big controversy. They've never said this. This is truly speculation from a business point of view, though. I'm sure they are hoping for that. They're hoping that it will discourage a lot between them feeling there's no use to even try, no use to continue, or hitting them with a couple of strikes. Either of those ones will sicken a lot of people from wanting to come back and create on YouTube. That falls into that category. Is it nice? Is it loving? Is it anything? Nope. But as a business side, I could easily see that being a big part of their plan right now. The same with the adult stuff. For every time they make the laws harder, they're hoping that people are going to walk away. Now, we have two choices here. We can only look at it, let them be the business people, or how about we be the business people for a second? And I believe that opens up a lot of opportunities, and Xenia and I would definitely be looking at this as a plus coming in. Because less people on, less to compete with, more chance to stand out, maybe the chance of more revenue sharing or props in the end for doing it. So, I mean, our content already kind of fits in there, even though tonight we're limited monetization for it. But that's nonetheless, so you have to look at the advantages sometimes in some stuff. And this is the same as I said when there was an economic crash. I was working for a large music conglomerate in the 2008. And a lot of stores were terrified and a lot of stores went under. And it's sad and it's not right. But some stores really did their best growth in that period because they jumped on board and ran with it and started to fill up a void. So that's another piece of advice that I can give to you. It's how you want to look at the situation. It's only crippling to you if you choose to let it be crippling to you. They're setting out the rules. It's their platform, and it's how we choose to play on this platform, how we choose to participate onto it makes a difference. So just food for thought, because there's always going to be something positive or some ray of light in all of this at some point. And that's the ray of light really that is shining right now. It's not bright, but it's a light nonetheless. So just food for thought. I don't want to feel like the victim on here. I really don't. I really, really don't want to feel like the victim on here. I want to find a way that we can thrive on here. And you guys got so much potential, and there's ways you can work this around to be even greater channels on here, and as much as this is an FTC ruling, and we're kind of left with limited options on how to deal with it. So, there is room that you guys can really wiggle through this and maybe come out even stronger than when it started.
I think it's once again is gonna light that fire under creators' bums.
Yep.
Like it was with the first Adpocalypse. I mean, there have been smaller Adpocalypse in the middle, but this probably is as big as the one that was a year and a half ago in February, because it will make us all figure out what other revenues we can get besides AdSense. Because obviously AdSense, and that's where we're coming to the resolution or solution finding for this change, AdSense is not the only way how you can earn your money. And the big channels, yes, they're relying part of it on AdSense, but like I said, they also have sponsorship, they have other things to do. So we can talk a little bit more about as well what you can do in these 4 months, especially if you are the channel that you think might lose monetization, in order to still sustain that revenue or even increase it. Who knows, that you already have.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
yes,
that's right,
Jacob.
Cron.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at that Cron's check. We were both getting different. I guess it's our own fault as creators. Haha, we demanded clearer guidelines, and now we're getting them. They're not, I wouldn't go as far as clear. YouTube does not specialize in clear, but yes, they're becoming a lot more a lot more guiding, if you will, I guess would be the best chance. And I mean, for us, our thing is to kind of stay away as much out of the gray as possible. But hey, there's a lot to be said for walking in the gray if you choose to do so, as long as you understand it and where you stand. You know, there is a lot to be said for it. That is what I was going to say. AdSense is never the only solution to monetization. Exactly. But remember, guys, it's not just AdSense. Remember, this is when we talk about AdSense, for the most part, we're not getting rich off this. We're talking about push. And that's where it can be kind of detrimental sometimes, because if YouTube is not making as much money off of something, they're less likely sometimes to give it the push that it should. Now they say, and I quote, that there's no difference into it. They still push you just the same, just it's a more select group of advertisers they may put you with. We've tried it for certain events, and we have seen a difference, let's just say.
Well, in fact, one of the SE or CEOs, one of those, you put me off too, I think. Can you hear me, guys?
Sorry?
No, you can hear me. So, in fact, one of the higher ups in YouTube was asked the legendary question of, are you getting bigger push with monetization? On which he answered very diplomatically that monetized videos are not getting a bigger push than not monetized one, but YouTube prefers more advertiser-friendly videos. So it's like saying yes without saying yes. And that's exactly what is happening to our and other creators' experience as well, that when you are not monetized and you're partially monetized, it definitely has a less push, because it's not considered advertiser friendly, and they like pushing more advertiser friendly ones because obviously they want more money. A good part of it is the creators that do fall in that middle, in that golden middle part of all of this content, might get more push, might get more advertising. They most likely will want people to watch more of those videos and therefore get more clicks on ads that the leftover content is going to have. So probably those creators are going to benefit from it. I would think so. If you can shift from one extreme side of the content, and be somewhere in the middle in the meantime, before the tall launches, it's probably the best for you to do, because I think in the long run, people who are in that middle is gonna benefit the most. It's only speculation. If you can't and you don't want to, there are other revenues to target, and we're just gonna mention them in a little bit. They brush up against the gray area. They will not give you impressions monetized. Yes, YouTube did say that if you brush up against the gray area, they will not give you impressions monetized or not. Yes, that's part of the not new policy about removing raising and 4 R's. Yes, that's right. That's right, Mike. Exactly that. So, like I said, I was saying that most likely the people that fall into the middle are going to be benefiting the most, because YouTube is going to want to push it even more, so they get more advertising. In the same time, YouTube is also releasing their premium content on the 24th of September, I think, which also, in a way, will start people forced to buy the premium content more, so they don't see ads in the content that is served to them. So it is all goes in conjunction. All these changes that have started at the end of August and are still continuing on and will continue till January, they're all are conjoined. They're releasing the content, the guidelines 2 weeks ago, guidelines now, copyright changes, a week ago. All of that is conjoined in one kind of block. You can't really look at it as a separate things. So what is there that we can do? So what is there the channels that are falling under one or the other extreme can do in order to maintain or increase their income? One thing would be their merchandise. So you can definitely try, especially if you're a family channel, in those 4 months, try and really push and put your advertising into promoting your merchandise. Really work on it, on designs, on launching them, on all of that. That is a really great way of getting revenue, especially if you really are pushing it and explaining your viewers why are you doing it, especially with these new changes coming up. That's probably would be one thing. The other thing is to getting affiliate links and sponsorships from companies themselves. There's plenty of ways, and coming up in these upcoming weeks, we're going to be talking more and more about it, how you can outsource your income, so to say, outside of YouTube in different venues. We're going to be talking more and more about that, but definitely getting affiliate links, even through TubeBuddy, through Amazon, through all different kind of companies is worth it, even if it is a couple cents a month. It's all combines together. Did you know, for example, that you can get affiliate links with Walmart or Target? That's something to look into. You can definitely do that, especially if you are a kids-oriented channel. There's definitely parents shopping there all the time. Why not to use your link? It doesn't cost them anything. You can get into the podcast and monetize it that way. There's whole different ways of how you can do it, and we will talk about it in the upcoming weeks.
Yep, Patreon. I mean, you can set up all kinds of levels,
yes.
Have different... please do not do it just with... if you want to succeed at Patreon, don't do it just saying, well, for $20, I say hi and try. Give them something back that's worth it into it. And it doesn't have to be a material thing, just some sort of attention, something that's tangible. That can do very well. Beyond Trees, how are you? Awesome to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. Farmall is in the house. Mr. Boom is here, guys. We have Porter Family Adventures. Didn't you know that, Pusa Studios? Didn't know that, Pusa Studios. Thanks, sorry. Okay, I thought I had missed an earlier part. I have no idea how to move forward with our show. It's already such a struggle. Crap, my dad makes me watch. Yeah, you're one of those huge gray vortexes that's growing by the day.
Look for sponsorship.
Yep.
Look for sponsorship and put your effort into merchandise.
Most definitely.
I feel bad. My heart breaks for the channel. It's not. My heart breaks for many amazing channels that are out there that is kids oriented, but everybody watches them and gonna fall under this. The same as the other side of the horror community and all of that, paranormals that is gonna falling under it already. It's crazy, but you see, like Amina said us, but I don't think, at least for me, it's worth putting up merch till I'm at least 500 subscribers.
Wrong. That was our mistake. We were wrong.
Yeah.
Don't make the same mistake that we made. That was a really bad call on our part, was to wait so long to be able to get our merch together and stuff like that. We really missed the boat on that one. Don't make the same mistake we did. Hey there, Gabe. How are you? Great to see you. Hope we're doing good. Thank you. Who else did I miss here? Andy, AMT. Oh my God, I'm so ATGH Travels. I'm so sorry about that. Good to see you. Project Pops is in here. Have you revived? You have revived my Twitter because I buried it, but it's resurrected. Well, that's awesome to hear.
I followed Iron Man as well.
I'm glad to hear that.
Cole Outdoors, hello, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Premier Hell, I just read this. Channels that post kids videos but don't identify them as such run the risk of getting hit with their own aggressive FTC fines, according to the commission.
Yeah, if you're in states.
Yeah.
Because once again, it applies to states because it can't apply to everybody. Only if you're located in states. Yes. Are you reading the paper? I will post it on Discord.
But you know what? Hats off to you for doing that. Mm-hmm. That's what we like to see. Good for you. Very good for you.
I mean, most likely it's gonna hit the bigger creators. It's basically the same as it is with sponsorships. You know how it used to be that you could just, somebody sponsors you and you don't have to mention it. And then FTC went after a whole bunch of creators on different platforms that weren't notifying people that it's sponsored post. Yeah. And they did get fined, some of them really a lot of money. Yeah. So this is kind of in the same idea of it, that you will have to self-judge and if not, you will get fined. I don't think they're gonna go, after small creators, like FTC itself. It just doesn't pay off. But the bigger ones, for sure.
ATG's Travel says, guess we'll see how it plays out. Think we should be okay since our kids are older, 16, 18. Actually, quite the opposite. That's even more of a draw for them. You got to think of like the way they're going to look at it a lot is like Disney sitcoms and all this stuff features a lot of 16, 18-year-olds, but is definitely considered as geared to young people. So I don't think it's going to be that easy because it's going to be hard even for a lot of adults in their 40s and stuff like that doing the discussions in matter. I go to a lot of those channels. We know a lot that come here that do specifically Disney stuff as well. And that, I mean, there's all kinds of gray area. And the way it sounds like it's going, unfortunately, as well, like the Pops community and all those guys, you have to look around you. It's an adult there. It's adults talking. And I don't consider it like some kids thing. It's adults that are into it as collectibles. But when you do a thumbnail or the screen itself and your background is covered in pops and stuff like that, that seems to be a lot of stuff they are going to be going after. Or if the background is Disney, amusement parks, collectibles, stuff like that. Heavy discussion about Disney and stuff. I mean, ATG's Travel, your channel's pretty clean on that part. I mean, there's no real worries or anything onto it. But still, nonetheless, it could stop the monetization onto it. For that, you'd be right in the middle of what they're looking for, that they consider as kids' content. Oh, the joys of being a small channel. Yeah. And also, but true, like this, the joys of being the big ones as well. Imagine when your whole career now is built on this. You know, you've quit your job 3 years ago. You having even the ones that are sponsored, the bigger ones, you know, they're worried they're going to take a hit now, maybe not get recommended as much. Their viewership go down. Maybe they might lose some sponsors. Maybe they have to retain a certain level to be able to keep their sponsorship. It's going to be hard for everybody's going to feel it in some shape or form. My sister and I make videos and we are 16, 14. Would this be considered kids content? Most definitely, I would say. Most definitely.
Now, Scott is asking how are parents supposed to find the channels to watch. What they're suggesting is that unsupervised watching of YouTube for kids should be done only through YouTube Kids, which now is available on desktop as well. They have drastically reduced the creators that can use YouTube Kids as their platform, like cut down like a lot. So if you have it unsupervised, that's their suggestion. YouTube Kids available on desktop now as well. Xavier Lee or why Leo supposed to do now? Just not make kids content and change my whole channel? Well, either you change your content or you find different other revenues. And like Motnat Reviews was saying, you can always push it more. Promoting is not a bad thing. All of the big huge companies are promoting themselves through advertising. This is business. Unless you're doing for hobby and you don't care if it shuts down or not, this is business. You should look at it that way. Advertising is fine.
Honestly, I want to correct that. Even if you do consider this a hobby on here, I just want to say that because that gets lost a bit. If you're on here, you want to be seen, and part of the hobby of being on YouTube shouldn't be just putting up videos, but it should be all the elements of being on YouTube. And that includes the marketing of it as well. Sorry, I don't mean to go back, but
I agree.
That line gets grayed out sometimes. I just wanted to say that. So I really think, you know.
Danos,
hey, how are you? Nice to see you.
Fat crack, you're... If anybody says hi to you, it always gets removed automatically by a filter.
You definitely keep the graces of YouTube busy, that's for sure, at Nightbot.
Yeah. So why don't they just have a designated space on the platform strictly for kids content? Well, they do. They do have YouTube Kids available on desktop right now too, but they are aware that kids are still watching content on YouTube. YouTube has been getting the statistics, you know, they even have been promoting to big companies like Mattel and Disney, saying that their platform is the biggest one available to promote their their products for kids. They have actually said that to Mattel, to Disney. So they have confirmed that, you know, we are the ones that can sell to kids. We're the best place to do it. And therefore, you know, they failed to distinguish one content from another at the very beginning. And that's what we are caught into right now.
And that left the room for a lot that took advantage of as well. And a lot, meaning still a small percentage, but there was a lot of big money made over people screwing it. which ended up on the Wall Street Journal and tons of newspapers like that, magazine articles, and caused the whole adpocalypse. That's where it all led from, was the ones that were playing what they already, whatever. Laws are there mostly to protect, to stop a few, not to stop the majority, but everybody in the end pays for them. And it was done that way specifically. They just kept dancing on the lines that everybody thought was pretty much clear and dry. They were making a lot of disturbing videos about it. A lot of stuff not wanting to see kids, so wow.
Yeah, and Xavier, I understand what you're talking about. This is exactly the type of channels that they're targeting, unfortunately. I'm just looking at your channel right now. And going into heavy sponsorship, which you can pull out right now. You can do it. Seeking for the sponsorship, merchandise is what you really should be looking into in this following months before you cut your ad revenue completely. That's why they give the 4 months buffer. And thank you for coming here, by the way.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's why they do it ahead of time. So you guys, I still think it's too little, but you gotta try and find a big sponsor that can help you through it. A toy company, even with your channel, maybe Walmart, maybe Target. It can be as big as that, Amazon with their audiobooks for kids, maybe things like that. Really push and work on getting the sponsor that could help you survive, because that's exactly, unfortunately, what is going to happen. It will be demonetized after 4 months.
They kind of want it that way too. They do the same as the late night shows on here. That's why the NBC late night shows, CBS and all them, get so much more leeway, because they're under that understanding that they've almost like signed a waiver that they're responsible for everything, yet they can take more chances then because it's their neck on the line and they're responsible for finding their own advertisers. And Xenia's right, guys, about finding advertisers your own that can really bring you through this. Only thing I just worry about for everybody is if it does go under, is the push going to be less once they do that by YouTube? And that's the thing I think that scares a lot of people. Vegas and Stilettos, how are you? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. Because, yep, the money is drying up as far as AdSense. It's really getting concentrated. And it's good for them, too. They sicken a lot of people from being on. Less money to pay, more posts on the other ones. The other ones have room to get bigger. They become more noticeable, more push to them. And it's less controversial. So they're already regulated through TV rules as well. Yeah. It's just unfair sometimes when they came in here, they got so much more of an open forum. Talking about big YouTubers, that's what bothers me when I see somebody like H3H3 and iDubbbz and PewDiePie and you name it, Casey Neistat, the list goes on and on and on. All those guys had to work their way to get up on here, where they kind of walked in, were throwing a bone without any kind of legacy on this platform, and also given a whole new set of rules. Once again, from a business point, I get why they do that, because it brings in good numbers. It draws in. It's good for them, good business. But I feel the ones, Linus Tech Tips, all those guys that work so hard on here, kind of don't get the props they deserve or the protection they deserve. Well, the other ones kind of just walked right in and had it handed to them on a silver plate, which I think was extremely unfair. Because most places, if you go into a TV studio or something like that, what do you see in their exec boards is the banners up of some of their most popular shows now and from past, because they realize those are the ones that made them. Where YouTube almost quite does the opposite. I mean, God help us, you got to look at any rewind to see that in play. What about repeat offenders like Logan Paul, aimed at teens, etc.? They get so much money already from so many other places, but yes, I agree, and they're going to still have to toe some kind of a line. There's got to be some kind of accountability, because we all know there's some big channels ready to call them out at a moment's notice if they don't.
Well, Logan Paul and KFI,
KSI,
they already moved their streaming of their upcoming fight in November away from YouTube.
Yep.
And I think it's part of it.
Yep, they don't feel and I'm not saying I like them, okay? But yeah.
Star Gaming, we use TubeBuddy and Morning Fame occasionally. By the way, the invite, a brand new invite to Morning Fame is down below in the description. So check it out.
Definitely, guys, a great thing for long-term planning your long-term growth on YouTube. Definitely check it out.
Yes.
And it's by invitation only, so you'll have to use that way.
Yeah. Definitely we're going to talk more and more about different parts. So after 4 months, when YouTube disables personalized ads, it's the same thing as your channel is now demonetized. Or does that mean you get less of revenue? That means that you're not going to get revenue on the channels. Either the whole channel is going to be disabled for monetization because it is solely targeted for kids, or there's going to be separate videos turned off for monetization. And the more of those you're going to get, the more likely your channel is going to be demonetized, and so on. So no, it's not less revenue. It's not getting ads at all. That's what at least they say.
Xavier Y. Leo, I'm glad you found us tonight. I'm going to put our Twitter link in the chat. Here, I'll put up our social medias. If you have one of them, can you follow us and let us know? We'd like to follow with you up as this is going on, if you don't mind. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about it and keep in touch. Just let us know which one. There's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I don't know which one you use if you can. That would be awesome. Just like to keep up more and see how you're doing with all this. It's quite curious about that. You, me, and Benny, how are you? Awesome to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic.
The Creator Spotlight Show, well, you can still do it. Just you will have to mark it as not monetized. That's all. To me, Super Chat is more beneficial than AdSense. Yes, but Super Chat is only when you have live streams. So the people that only have videos are not going to have that option, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Super Chats is a way of doing it, but then you would have to jump into the live streams. That might be one of the answers to how change the type of content you have. Possibly. Just remember, it still has to be quality content, not just a live stream.
Yeah.
But that's a good point.
On Instagram, okay. And if you can just, can they send a message without it, or are we going to be following them too?
No, they can send a message.
Yeah, send us a message so we can get in touch with you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
I have activated all the messages everywhere. They fall into a different filter, so sometimes I don't see them, but you can do that. Yes, please do. We'd love to follow up with you and see how it's working out. We do interviews with creators as well here, if you see on our channel, so definitely would be a great thing if you would love to do that. Raising a single mom, what about mukbangers? Well, it's not necessarily targeted to kids. I don't think it should fall into that.
But there's always that thing. What if it's kids food? What are they doing on gummy bears? They see it as unhealthy. Like, we never know what this line is going to go.
Could be, who knows?
It's that bizarreness of all this, that not knowing where you stand. Good Cemetery's gone bad. How are you? Great to see you. Tonight's, guys, the turnout and the discussion on this is nothing short of fantastic, guys. I want to just point that out.
Thank you so much, especially because it is partially monetized, of course. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much. Cowgirl ASMR says, although the content is sad news, I just wanted to say thanks for covering the topic. I'm enjoying this talk. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the feedback. I only do live streams, well, not right now because I'm under 1K, but soon. Well, Mandy, I already asked you if you're using DU encoder or Streamlabs. You can download any third-party app and use that to go live without 1K. Terry Wade Thompson, great point for those who are looking to live stream. For example, I literally sat there and watched Davey play bass live and made quite a bit through Super Chat. Yeah, definitely.
Super Chats are great, but oh my God, this is hard to say. Just don't look at them as a banking thing. Still look long-term onto them. They're amazing, and we have some people that are so amazing to us that help us out so much I can't begin to describe. We've actually bought a lot of our equipment and stuff because of Super Chat. But always look at all the options available into there as well. Don't make that the sole... Not you are, but I do hear that sometimes people are basically just building a whole platform on the Super Chat idea. It's, there's a lot more stable things to look in as well. Just as a side note. Our main channel, any tips on what we need to do for? Gabriel, yes, just set up. You got to have set up an AdSense account. It will walk you through it. You can get started already, go through the monetization part of that. It won't do it right away, but at least to be set up, and it's got a link to your bank account. So, and it's hard to get into too much tonight, but just type that in. how do I monetize in Google, and you're going to actually see a video of, there should be still a couple that show you step by step.
Jasmine's entertaining. Hello.
I have been nervous to use third-party apps for live, but looks like it's safe, given YouTube said no live for under 1K.
No, that's not what it said exactly. It said no YouTube app using. It didn't say no live. So you're not breaking the rules by doing it. And people have been using it forever. Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't clamp down, to be perfectly honest.
Me too.
I'm very surprised, but it's still going on, so.
Destination Chronicles asked, and the question is former content. Do we have to go back and delete all former content that may have child in it? Like we said, they haven't specified it, but the guidelines that came out 2 weeks ago about the other side of the content, extreme content, said that it will apply to the old content and will be removed automatically or flagged, but you won't receive a strike. Now, they haven't specified it for this type of content. Most likely, they're just going to follow up with new information on it.
No, Terry, what I meant by that was no. It's not that YouTube has a problem with you getting super chats. I guess they don't. They get 30% of all of it. They're more than happy when it happens. I'm trying to say as ugly as possible. Some run on the idea that just super chats are going to be the only way to ever be able to always have a steady stream of income coming into your channel. And that mentality is not a really great way to look at it, because that could fall or rise at any time. That's not. I don't want to say that because we truly appreciate the ones we get, but you also want something more stable in the long run coming in as well in conjunction with it. That's what I mean by it. I was just trying to be a little politically correct on that one, but I mean, it's not something you want to build your whole channel with the premise that that's the only way you're ever going to earn money is by doing super chats alone.
Check our YouTube survival guides. We talk a lot about different aspects of that.
Yeah.
And, Gabrielle, I don't know what your main channel is about. What you definitely have to look very carefully is not to get a strike in the meantime, because you can't apply for the partnership if you have a strike. So that's something. And you just got to really get acquainted with all the community and copyright guidelines that have been coming out in the last couple of weeks. We have both links for the latest ones down below in description. This is the newest one today. So really be careful with your content, especially in the meantime, while and before you apply for it. Now, can we have the page on restrictions for 21 plus if our content is not kid friendly? Sorry?
Yeah, it's not 21 plus. Through the release last week, it sounds like 18 and under, I'm assuming you mean.
Yeah, that is below in the description.
Team YouTube, it's less about the overall category, example gaming, and more about the individual video content for its larger audience. Exactly. Creators will self-designate whether a video is made for kids. Yes, but the problem is with that is it falls into a lot of channels that do it on a regular basis very hard, because a lot of them have built their channel on that premise. Exactly. That's why we were saying about setting it for the beginning. But a lot of channels have built their whole premise around. That said, too, when that starts going is for people to understand what videos they would actually have to do it to or not. I'll give you a great example. Where is it? Hang on here. 1 second. So you see here the other night we celebrated 10K, and on this we had a glass of champagne. We opened the bottle. Even that would be like a little, but it's okay. You know, it wasn't like we were downing it. It was more of a celebratory thing. It didn't go any further than that. So that passed, and that was okay. But then we went on to have some drinks with everybody and celebrate. The next video up, thank you for 10K. We had to age restrict that because then we were getting more into it. And to cover ourselves, we didn't want the other one getting hit too. That's why we did them in 2 parts, for that simple reason. And that's what it's going to be. It's a lot more thinking about what is actually going to cross the line. Now, this one's more cut and dry now based on the rules that to do that. But the first one that we had, that drink of champagne, was a bit more gray. And maybe we should have age restricted, but YouTube let it go through and it was okay. Well, that's the problem. The thing is with the kids one we're worried about is how heavy-handed they're going to be on this. And because the FTC now is pushing them this time, it's probably going to be a lot heavier on when it construes as kid friendly, what is enticing kids to come and watch, and that's a lot of onus on each and every one of us to decide. So
see, like it says, direct quote, in order to identify content made for kids, creators will be required to tell us when their content falls in this category, and we'll also use machine learning to find videos that clearly target young audiences. For example, those that have an emphasis on kids' characters, themes, toys, or games. So they already are specifying four categories. That's specific, and then everything else besides that.
And it's always the gray area that's the biggest pitfall to fall into. That's the hardest part. The stuff that people made not thinking about that at the time, that it would count as anything to go against those guidelines. And then all of a sudden, that's when the strikes come flying in. Eesh, I'm American. I always spoke my mind. I don't want to change my channel, and I have always said it should be family friendly. I did coin hunting, etc. Well, yeah, and I mean, this is like, for instance, here it's an FTC law, but YouTube is also a worldwide platform, and that's the thing. Like, every country's values are coming into it. Every belief system in the world is coming crashing into it. The FTC is kind of running with it right now, and it is a U.S.-based company, so they're getting, which is also, Xenia said a while ago, for some of the bigger creators, it sucks a bit worse if you're in the U.S. for getting the FTC to come after you directly as a creator. But the times, they are a changing, unfortunately, and this is the path they're choosing to take it, partly, but a lot of it is because they're being pushed by the FCC. So look at copyright. Look at how much we've bitched and complained about where copyright has gone on here, and how much we're all paying for and getting strikes that's not fair, and the way it's done. But that was the same thing. That was all the big music companies coming together and said, either you're going to fix this once and for all, or we're going to ruin you as a company. We'll take you through so much litigation you'll never see the light of day. Hence why we have the strict copyright, the bizarre copyright laws that we got today, some of them, was because YouTube was up against the wall and had no other choice but to do it. There was no way. Everybody was copywriting left, right, and center. They were making money off the other ones. Once the AdSense especially came into it, and there was money being made off the backs of other creators, that's when all hell broke loose. And it wasn't so much the creator, it was the companies, the record companies. And that's the same thing that's happening right now. The same as the FTC is doing against YouTube. You're going to do something, or life's going to get a lot harder for you on this platform, and you will pay through the teeth. So they're dealing with what they got in front of them. It's not that they're sitting around. They don't want all this hassle. They wish if everything could just float, and everybody who doesn't like what they do would cover their eyes and move on, and no record company or TV production company would get angry if something was copyrighted. It would be glee on here. It would be back like it used to be in 2008, 2000. Those days ain't coming back. They're done, and they're not going to return. No way, no how. That's it. They're finished. So we got to play the hand we're dealt. Had such an amazing time here. Really interesting conversation, but it's 2 a.m. Oh, I understand. Awkwardly, Kim. You have a fantastic night, and thank you so much for coming. And it's always great to have you in the chat. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Agnes M., how are you? Great to see you. Art Code Drone Solutions, how are you? I know I missed some. If there's anybody we missed, guys, just highlight our name. Kay Torres, how are you? Nice to see you. Pure Moroccan, how are you? Lots of great channels here, guys. Yeah, lots of great discussion, and it's been really nice to have this kind of thing about it, because it does affect everybody. It really is important, guys. And you're only as strong on YouTube as your knowledge about the platform you're on. It really is. I got a strike a while ago, but it was because my ex took a break from singing, and I play. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. Rocky and Derek, how are you? Great to see you. Sparkle Beauty, how are you? Good to see you. Ashia J, how are you? Matthew Coombs, I see. Push Studios guess they want to change it up a bit. There's not a lot of choices. They didn't have a lot of choices to come to what happened today. Let's just say that in the end. I think that's a fair. We got to give them a little bit of sympathy onto it, and if there's any to be had for them, we got to say that. There wasn't a lot of options. Scully's House of Thrills. Thrillers, how are you?
Rocky and Derek Show says, learning a lot from this. We lost our first channel. Well, if you don't mind sharing what happened to it, just so we all can learn from it.
Yep.
Definitely would love to know if it's okay with you to share.
Amy Living and says, it's been informative for sure. I've thought of several titles and thumbnails that I'll change very soon. It's a good thing to go back and look at, guys. Go back and review your catalog. Remember, you're not bad people, and sometimes it's just the laws go way too far, and it's how far you want to dance. The cut and dry is the cut and dry, okay? If you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong, and there's nothing to say or fight about it. It's that gray area that gets terrifying. That's the part that can really get you in a mess, and you had no idea why it even happened. That's more what the problem is with every time these come out, is the people that fell into these traps and didn't even know why, didn't see it coming, didn't intentionally do anything on here really that wrong. And they'd probably ask 10 of their friends right now what they did, and they'd say, well, I don't see the problem with it. You know?
Does background count, like decorating for Halloween? Well, Halloween is not really directly defend, but as I said, like if there is something that you're selling that is intended for kids, like I don't know, your merchandise is, intended for kids, it's plush or something, or something that would be directly targeted at kids and nobody else, then it could possibly influence that as well.
Thank you, Carter Eats. Congrats on this 10K sticking. It kind of is. We've gained like 7 new subscribers tonight, but it's gone down 3 and gained 1. So it's been purging us a decent amount. But we're getting there. It's holding, so that's great.
Rock and Derek Show say we violated a policy. They wouldn't tell us what. Yeah, you're not the only person.
Another one on the list.
Yes, the one that haven't gotten the email describing what happened. That is so unfortunate. What about people who work on cars? Kids can't drive cars, so is that adult? No, that's family friendly. Family friendly means it falls into a normal public behavior that is not specific for only adults or not specific only for kids.
Scott's thoughts. You bring up a good point. Your children's books, but you also talk a lot about mental health and stuff like that. I can see that becoming a huge problem.
Children books videos definitely will fall under the new rule. And
not just that, if you mention that you have them within also talking about in your videos, as well as about mental health and stuff like that. Not that you're not, for the record, Scott Slott's channel does a very great service on here and tell his own experiences on that. It's not a bad channel. This is not some hate-filled channel or anything bizarre talking about himself. But unfortunately, yes, most likely a lot of your videos will be in the kind of the sites as well. Outdoors with Eric, how are you? Congratulations on hitting 10K, by the way.
Yeah.
All the best, my friend. Well done.
Yeah, we hit it in the same day.
I didn't know that till today. I think Xenia told me. I'm sorry about that.
So cool. Pastor Kim's Corner of Power. Hello, how are you? Welcome here.
50 Shades of YouTube. Yeah. Soon to be at 10 million of them. Thank you so much, Eric. A pleasure. Great channel to be running with. And, man, you are doing good. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely, guys. Well, Glitch Gamer, hello.
So if my wife appears on the videos with the kids, well...
yes.
But here's how I'm seeing... Now, remember, guys, this part is interpretation. The more and more that a thumbnail or the video itself or the title or the description leads to the kids being the focal point of it, or they spend a large amount of time onto it, or it's geared around them, is going to have a part in how they're going to be determining if it's a kid-oriented video or not.
For example, kids playing in the playroom or the yard might be falling under kids content.
Yep. A thumbnail with kids in a ballroom, waving, but yet most of the time you're talking about your house and you built them the ballroom, even though you're not talking with them much, but the focus was on the thumbnail could probably trigger to seeing it that way. Not guaranteeing, but that's where the questions come up.
And the problem is that although they said that they're going to be hiring 10,000 more flaggers for exact this purpose, they do still say that distinguishing will be made by the machine, the same as it was with copyright. Yeah. So the gray area is going to be very, very shaky for a good while, we assume. Will you please elaborate how many content may be
Can
flagged?
I give an example?
Yeah.
You're talking for 25 minutes about your struggles with mental health, some things, about your day, like you do in a lot of your videos. And you say, oh, I'm also working on this children's book, that I've been working on to and stuff like that, and bringing that up into it, putting it into the thumbnails, making it a more predominant part of the show. Stuff like that could easily be misconstrued by the algorithm as seen as you're gearing towards children's content, but yet you're bringing adult themes into it.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest not to mix the two because, for example, your book videos, if you only talk about books, it would fall into kids.
Yeah.
And yet, if you talk about addiction or like severe problems in mental health, that would fall under mature content. So clashing the both is definitely not something you would want to do.
And when you're talking about your book, that's the hard part, because I know your book is about, it's hard because you can't go into too much detail about that as well, because it can be construed as out. This is not us. This is a lot of big channels going through this, okay? So this is not, like, I want to say it, because Scott's Last Channel's a good guy, and I feel so bad for him because he is one of those ones going to really be hit with the gray area hugely. But that's look at Philip DeFranco. For months now, most of his videos, he talks about daily news. Every one of them is demonetized or limited monetization. That's why he has supporters and all sponsors and all that stuff. He would have no other choice if he was left just to try and get any amount off of AdSense. I mean, he'd be ruined. And that's even when you're talking nicely about a lot of the things onto it, or sympathetically and sticking to the facts. And it's only going to get harder. Look at us tonight. We're limited monetization for just discussing this. We knew it was going to happen, but yeah.
Scorpion X, hello, and keeping up with K as well. Xavier Castro asked, so Ryan Toy's review will die after this. This is one of the biggest channels on YouTube. My kids love that channel, and I think it's mostly geared to kids. Yes, it will lose monetization, but most likely it still survive because of the
We got our monetization back at the end. There you go.
Oh.
So now we're going to get that 7 cents pouring in. So
yay, share it out.
Share it out. But that's what we're talking about, guys. It's not the money side. It's not like, oh my God, we're going to go broke now. It's because of the push of this. It was getting a big push at the beginning, and we've seen the push go way down. And all of a sudden, sure enough, we looked over, and that's what happened. It was limited monetization. So that's why it's important. When we talk about AdSense, it's not about the money. It's about the push that comes with what you do. Carter Eats, thank you so much, and it's always great to see you in here. Remember how much fun we had the night in your channel?
Yes.
Oh my God Almighty! Xenia and I had a ball. It's one of the few times you and I actually got to watch something together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Backyard Gardener. Thank you so much.
We don't have them yet, FDL Seeker. That's what we're saying. This is like the introduction to what's coming out, and now it's going to see what they give us coming for the second part when they become more. But you have to realize anything with knives, axes, as bizarre as all this sounds, it's not like you're doing deadly stuff with them. Lighting fires. Very, very, very basic stuff that you would never think would be considered. All that stuff can come into play. And it does. Yeah.
I will post a couple of links here and see if any of them help you with what is already available there.
Shining Through NK, can I talk about my struggles with autism on my channel? Well, that's the hard part. You can, but a lot of that stuff more is going to be unfortunately limited monetization, most likely, and stuff like that, and fall under adult theme, even though a lot of kids should be hearing it, and even though you're really doing a service to so many people. The algorithm is they're trying to get the algorithm and the guidelines to work together to stay away from, let's call it for what is, anything that can be considered controversial. It's not taking into account your context of how you're talking about that subject. It's that you're talking about that subject to begin with. It's once again like a blanket law. Oh, okay, they're talking about autism. That sometimes can be bad. Sometimes somebody says mean things about autism. So just deal with it now. Limit monetization, age restraint, whatever the case. Oh, he's how to light a fire while you're lost in the woods. Oh my God, fire is bad. Some people really get hurt from fire. Arsonists are out there and they start fires. So we're just going to deal with that. Limited monetization or no monetization, less push. That way we don't have to worry about an advertiser onto it in case it's the 1 in a million that actually shows you how to do something harmful with fire. On the other side, devil's advocate, you know what happened too. There's lots of people That was especially 3 years ago. It was the big thing on here until some kid, a young guy with a brand new family, was shot in the head by his girlfriend with a Desert Eagle holding a book in front of his head, and all these things that went on like that. YouTube has taken a ton of flack for them. The algorithm can't put into context what everybody's doing on here, so they're just wanting to avoid anything that might have the chance of leading. They'd rather you not get anything than them end up on a major magazine and another adpocalypse. That's the simple truth of it. It's not that YouTube doesn't like you. YouTube is a gigantic corporation worldwide with hundreds of millions of channels running active, and they just can't check everybody, so they're going to err on the side of caution. And as unfair, as undiplomatic as it is, they owe us nothing for being on here. Absolutely nothing. So you want to talk about a crapshoot? And that's why we have respect for the bigger YouTubers that work their way up here. They don't deserve this kind of shoddy treatment. They should first and foremost be protected for everything that they've done to build this platform what it is. And to this day, they don't really have any more rights on here than you and I do. It's YouTube's platform, YouTube's rules, YouTube's agreement with advertisers. And it's either you're going to go with it or you're not going to go at all. We got a bunch of channels. If you decide not to come, that's fine. Less server space for us to worry about. Less chance of having a problem for us. I'm so tired of YouTube dictating what we can see and not see. Just forcing everyone to keep to certain patterns. This will kill so much creativity. Yeah. Oh, the days of old are so far in the review mirror of YouTube. It's not coming back. There's no way is this coming back. Yep. So it's going to get only tighter. It's not going to go back to the way it was. That's one thing about it. If we're not going to wait out the storm and then things are going to relax, there's going to be some that find ways to circumvent the laws again. And then there'll be another set of rules that are even more grayer and more damaging. So I know it's not good news. It's not the happiest thing, but if we admit it and we choose to be on here, at least then we can start to work around it and make things work for us, because we got no other choice if we want to stay on here. All about vehicles. It has been a long time. How are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, I agree with you on that 1 minute facts. Definitely. You get more leeway on Showcase and channels like that than you do on here. That's true. And there's some really great content that's not going to probably see the light of day because of it either. That's the sad part. Cardosa Media, how are you? Great to see you. Great to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic.
Hello, how are you? Well, we're starting to put the links, guys, in the chat as well, so you can go and check out yourself what applies or will possibly apply to you. Definitely take responsibility in your own hands and double, triple check everything. We do try to do legwork for you guys, but you are the one responsible for your channel. So if you're in doubt, go and check out the links, read through it a couple of times. So it definitely at least is as clear as can possibly be. That's all we can say. We'll see what the changes are going to start to affect us at the end of September, when the guidelines that were announced 2 weeks ago are going to start to come into effect with strikes and flagging and all of that. That's coming up at the end of September. Abbreviated counts, guys. YouTube has announced finally that it's going to start next week.
Yep.
So you're going to see less and less direct numbers on the creators' accounts publicly. Still will going to be able to see it on your own. Studio beta, though. Lots of changes. We're trying to keep up with all of them and give the news to you as best as we can. Do the research for yourself as well. Always make sure that it is the original source that it's coming from, because we're sure there's going to be lots of different speculations on all of these topics in the future. And please, if you can come back from, can I have a coffee, please? I've never had it since the first time we started. Drrr.
The brain of the teenage boy in full view.
That's right, guys. So if you have anything to comment on this, we would really appreciate if you come back and comment on the video. We can continue this conversation. If you have any questions, any more, or anything like that, please come back and comment, and we can continue discussion in the comment section below. Yes.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier tonight. Yeah.
Premier Hell, that means that they're gonna have specials, the kids oriented specials, the same as they do have other content. They will have the select creators making content that is specifically targeted for kids, that they're gonna be able to monetize even more, and therefore hopefully for themselves get more money from. That's exactly what they're talking about. I will still try to put all of the links here in the chat, so go and check it out.
That's right, Sky Pilot. Just the only thing is just sometimes the ones who are in the fridge, it depends how actively it's pushed. Some can get caught in it without actually really be doing anything wrong. That's the one more we're talking with the gray. Well, the cut and dry is always the cut and dry. And we want them to deal with that because there is some really crappy things. We're also parents too, and there's some stuff on here that I can't believe kids have access to. It's the gray area though sometimes where channels kind of get smothered, which is not fair. So thank you so much, Premier Hell. And great to have all you guys in tonight. I appreciate all the chat and the help and that. You guys are absolutely amazing. You always make it such a great discussion. And once again, it is kind of heartwarming to see so many people come in on topics and discussing them. It shows how much you care about your being on this platform, about your channel and stuff like that. It's really nice. So hope you guys are well. I don't think there's anything left on.
No, just once again, if you have any more questions or you'd like to discuss it even more than welcome, and please do comment on our video. We do appreciate if you do. We try to answer as many of them as possible. Let's talk about it a bit more. It's going to be an ongoing issue, and we'll definitely talk more about how you can monetize your channel besides AdSense. Even more, it's going to be even more important.
Yep. Thank you so much. Catch you later, Scott Saw's channel. Somebody was asking, the links are going to be in the description.
Well, they're going to be here in the in the chat. It's always available in the replay. So definitely, and I'm going to try and put it in Discord as soon as I can.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't joined any of our social medias yet, here you go once again. Just so you have them. It's a great place to find stuff. There we go. I let kids play on my content. And as guys, like I said, that's why we didn't want to blow it out and turn it into like everything is down, everything. It's to start off from where we're at now, and everybody have a fair chance to start looking at their stuff, to go up and read the rules for themselves, see where it is already. They're not fully established. But to get you thinking of where you might be fitting into it, if there's any stuff that you've done that you really got to go back and look at before this happens. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is power, guys. And you need to know for yourselves. That's part of being on the platform. It's the process as well. And this is definitely a big part of the process. So, okay.
Yep.
Alrighty then, guys. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Much love to you all. And you guys brought up some fantastic points, fantastic discussions onto it. Please don't forget to hit the like button if you're new. Hope you can subscribe and check out more of what we do. Cheers and keep creating, and make sure, guys, there's working as much within those guidelines as possible. And we'll keep updating as things progress in that. It will definitely come up again in future discussions. And go and look them up for yourselves, guys. Really read them over. And thank you so much for all you guys bring to the table. It was absolutely awesome.
See you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.